Okay. Going to be reacting to Charlie Kirk on whatever. And, yep. Hopefully this time I don't get super fucking triggered. And I can make it through the rest of it. Hold on 1 second. If the damn thing will pop up. Thank you. All right. Move that over. Great. Put that down. Okay.
Welcome to the Whatever Dating Talk podcast, where we try to make sense of the modern dating hellscape. I'm your host, Brian Alice. Thanks for tuning in tonight. A few quick announcements. This podcast is viewer-supported, heavy YouTube demonetization, so please consider donating through Streamlabs instead of super chatting, as YouTube takes a brutal 30% cut. Some quick maths for y'all. If you super chat 100, YouTube takes 30. If you donate 100, Streamlabs only takes 3. Streamlabs.com/whatever. Link for that is in the description. We do prioritize messages that are made via Streamlabs. Since we have Charlie here, for the sake of a smooth stream, we have temporarily boosted the read and TTS triggers 200 and 300 respectively. If it's too disruptive, we may have to boost it higher or temporarily pause it. Time permitting, we will try to get through all reads and TTS while Charlie is still here. You can see the description for all triggers and full details. With that said, we're going to just jump right in. We're going to have the guests introduce themselves, so please tell us your name, age, location, and occupation. Go ahead.
My name is Karina, and I'm turning 28 next month. I am currently, I'm going to be a law student in August, so.
Are you currently a student right now?
I'm currently waiting for school to start. I work at a firm.
So you're like a paralegal? You have your undergrad in something?
I have my undergrad in psychology, and I'm a law clerk.
Okay, very cool. What about you?
Hi, I'm Larissa. I'm 21. I live here in IB, and I just graduated from UCSB, so I'm actually going to start my new job as a behavioral interventionist and trauma caregiver.
And what was your major at UCSB?
Sociology.
Sociology. Okay, Soch. All right. What about you?
Hi, I'm Caitlin. I'm 20, and I go to UCR, and I'm a student.
UC Riverside?
Yeah.
Okay. What are you studying?
Media.
Media. Just media? Like
Or media and cultural
media studies? Okay. And cultural studies. Is one a minor? Or it's like
No,
that's the program?
One major, media and
Okay.
cultural studies.
And you're originally from Riverside?
Fullerton.
Fullerton. Okay, got it. What about you?
I'm Amy. I'll be 48 at the end of the year, and I'm a pilot and have been a bit of a gold digger.
You've been, like past tense or?
On and off.
Current. Okay, been a bit of a gold digger. You also, hold on, I had some notes here. In addition to that, hold on, you're also pilot?
Correct.
Model? You said model. And what's the other thing that you do?
I
High-end?
dated wealthy men
Okay.
who provided for me.
But you're also a high-end companion. Do I have that?
Yeah, I dated wealthy men who provided for me.
Okay, got it. All right. And is it, when you say pilot, is this a commercial license?
I'm commercially licensed. I've flown cargo and charter, and I've been a flight instructor.
Okay, well, all right, cool. What about you?
I'm Shy. I'm 19, and I'm also from the Gold Coast.
All right. And are you in school or anything like that?
No.
What do you do for work?
OnlyFans.
Okay. How long have you been doing that for?
6 months.
6 months. All right. And any school at all? Like college? What do they call it? Uni?
Yeah, but I was doing my Cert 3 for beauty, but then I kind of just ditched that and became an OnlyFans.
For beauty. Okay, got it. Like cosmetics or?
Yeah,
Okay, got it.
yeah.
What about you?
Hi, my name's Serena. I am 21, and I just recently graduated from UCR. And this fall, I will be attending SF State to get my master's.
And what did you do for your undergrad?
Biology.
And what are you going for your master's? What do you?
Biomedical science with a concentration in biotechnology.
Are you wanting to be a doctor or?
I just want to go into research.
Research? Okay. What about you?
I'm Imogen. I'm 18. I'm from Australia, Gold Coast.
All right. And what do you do for work?
OnlyFans.
Okay. What about you?
Hi, I'm Leah. I'm 26. I'm from North Carolina, and I do marketing.
All right. Welcome.
Hi, I'm Heather. I'm 35, currently a stay-at-home wife.
We got a pretty diverse group of women
And I was
here.
the corporate director of food safety and
That's
quality assurance for a
good.
large food manufacturer, and I will be a law student in August.
Okay. And Charlie, what about you?
I am Charlie. I'm Erica's husband and father of 2. We just had a new baby. So we have 2 under 2. So, and yet book promo week. That's the only reason I was able to get away.
There we
It
go.
was one of my first trips since we've had the new little one.
Gotcha. Age?
The baby? Or me?
both.
1 month. I'm 30 years old.
All right. 30. Got it. And you're also the founder of
A small little thing called Turning Point.
Turning Point.
Podcast, radio, and all sorts of stuff.
All right, rock and roll. Welcome everybody. So we're gonna go around the table once more. What's everybody's current relationship status? So are you single, talking stage, situationship, friends with benefits, relationship, married, harem, polycule? There's all kinds of. It's 2024. All kinds of arrangements. If you're single, how long have you been single? And what's the longest relationship you've ever been? Starting with you. Go ahead.
I would say I'm off the market. I've been dating somebody for a few years now.
All right. So we'll say relationship.
Sure. Yes.
But you said off the market. So okay. But you said like 2 or 3 years.
2 years, yeah.
2 years. Are you guys boyfriend girlfriend? Or is there no title?
There's not. I don't like the titles before marriage, but
Is it exclusive, like monogamous?
exclusive monogamy,
Okay,
yeah.
We'll just say 2 years. Longest relationship.
I think 3.5, 4 years maybe.
All right.
Yeah.
What about you?
I'm single. I've been single since 2023, and my longest relationship is like 2-ish years.
Like the beginning of 2023 or like the end of 2023? You've been single.
Like April-ish.
So about a year. You've been single. And sorry, longest relationship?
2-ish years.
2. All right. What about you?
I'm in a relationship about 3 years.
3 years. Okay. And where did you guys meet?
UCR.
UCR. Okay. And is he like also? Are you going into your senior year at UCR?
Yeah.
Is he also going into
Yeah.
senior? Okay. Are you guys both in the are you guys in sororities?
Yeah.
Yeah. Same one. Is that how you guys know each other?
Yeah.
Okay. Is he a frat guy? Or?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you meet at a frat party or something like that? Or?
He just reached out to me on Instagram.
Oh, he slid into the DMs. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Did you guys didn't have like a class together or anything? Just
No.
same
No
dorm,
class.
anything like that?
No.
Okay. You went same school, slid into the DMs. It worked. Okay. Cool.
Correct.
And is this your longest relationship
This
that
is
you've
my
had?
relationship.
Only relationship. All right. What about you?
I date 2 people casually. I've been seeing both of them for 18 years, and they are my longest relationships.
Okay. So I've never had to write that. Dating 2 for 18 years. All right. Have you ever been married?
No, engaged. Never married.
Engaged. How many proposals? Any proposals?
Many.
Many proposals. No acceptance of the proposals. They just didn't meet. Or do you not want to get
I'd
married?
like to get the last round of the draft pick. That's what I'm waiting for. Just the very
The
last
last
round.
rock party.
Yeah.
Okay. And so these two men that you've been dating both for 18 years, do they know about each other? Yeah. And are they dating other women?
Not that I know of,
Not that
but
you know of.
they can.
They can. Okay. And so you said you've been casually dating them for 18 years?
Yeah, we don't live together. We have no plans for marriage. That's all I mean by that.
Or do they live in different parts of the country, so you'll like fly out? How often do you say you see each of them?
Every other week or so, when I feel like it.
And they fly you out, or do you have something?
No.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
He's taking it in.
Yeah, we meet wherever we feel like it.
Okay.
World's small. Everybody's got
Sure.
a world. Here we go.
All right. And how did you meet those guys?
Internet.
Okay. All right. And in this 18-year period, did you ever have like a third person you were dating? Like you'll date a guy here, a guy there?
So someone I met in 2017, I thought I'd probably cash in and end with that maybe permanently.
Sorry, cash it in.
This is an incredibly diverse group of people. I wonder how that's gonna make the arguments. I just wonder how this
Everything else,
gonna
freedom,
go.
other opportunity, whatever, and pick this person, and
Yeah.
failed after a few very romantic years. So that was about 5 years, maybe 6. I'd have to go back and look.
And the two men that you're dating,
We hung it up for those years.
okay. But the two men that you have been dating for the past 18 years, you mentioned
Jesus,
that
this
you're.
window
was
is
it professional-
huge.
Not professional gold digger. What was it?
You can say that. I don't like it.
Did you gold dig them?
I mean, they're wealthy.
Yeah.
That's my type. That's the sort I like.
There we
What
go.
is the procedure for gold digging?
I don't-
What's the process? Walk me through.
I only know my life.
Yeah.
So I can't speak for everyone
Maybe
else.
they get you nice gifts. They fly you out.
Sure.
She flies herself.
I mean, that takes a long time in little planes, so not usually. Like, get back and let the pilot.
Do you own a private plane or anything?
Can we next?
Okay. That'd be you could try to gold dig a plane, right? That would be a good thing on the resume.
I'm fine. I'm fine for transportation.
Somebody bought me a plane. That's a W, right? Okay. What about you?
I've been single for 2 years.
All right. 2 years. Longest relationship? Any relationships?
Yeah, 1 year.
1 year. Okay. All right. And that was in Australia, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Was he? I've heard this term bogan. Was he a bogan?
Yeah, I can
Okay.
say that.
Can you explain just for the viewers in the panel who might not know what a bogan is?
It's just like their lingo. It's just like how they speak and like what they do, like walk around in thongs all the time and like shorts and like
Sandals.
Yeah.
That's Australian for sandals.
Yeah, and like singlets. Just like
Singlets.
Yeah, like just like
Like wrestling singlets?
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
just pin somebody or text them or something. Okay. What about you?
I've been single for like a month or two,
Oh, how long were you? Sorry about that. How long were you dating that guy?
3 years.
Oh, frat guy? Was it a frat guy?
Yeah, but I knew him before he joined a frat.
Okay. So you said single for 1 month
Yeah, about.
or so, and was that your longest relationship?
Yeah.
3 years. Okay. Why did you guys break up?
It just didn't work out.
Didn't work out.
Yeah.
Who broke up with who?
I guess you could say he broke up with me, but
Yeah. What did you do? What did you do to him?
I didn't necessarily do anything. It's just more the fact
Did
that
you
like
slash his tires?
no, I'm not crazy. I swear. But we broke up because of like cultural differences.
Oh,
Fuck.
what's he like?
He was Arab.
So what were the differences that were sticking points in the relationship?
Like culturally, like if we were to get married, it wouldn't work out. Like I would have to convert to Islam.
Are you religious at all? Or?
Not really.
Not really. But so you didn't want to convert, basically.
No.
Yeah. Okay. And you dated him for 3 years?
Yeah.
Was this like something that came along later on in the relationship,
I
or
mean,
was he always kind of like?
We talked about it, but like we never like really talked about it until recently.
Is there would there have been a dowry? Is that part of? I don't know how it works.
What do you mean?
The dowry, like you would pay. I think you were like your family would pay. Was it the bride price or something? I don't know how. It
That's
works.
very serious. I don't think that would.
No. In any case, cultural differences. Okay. And so you guys split up. You've been single for 1 month. Any rebounds?
No, focusing on myself.
Like sig up? Any bashing sig up?
no,
No sig up
no
rebounds?
sig up rebounds.
Did you guys have a pike?
No.
Charlie, were you in
We
fraternity?
had pikes.
I didn't go to college.
Oh, that's
I
right.
didn't go to college.
Okay.
Closer to the
Yeah. Okay, so no rebound then. Okay.
Yeah, no.
But are you kind of taking a break, or you're looking for a new boo?
No, definitely not.
Definitely not. Okay. What about you?
I've been single for like a year and a bit.
1 year. Okay.
Yeah.
And any relationships? Have you had a
Oh
relationship?
yeah, for like 5 months, but we broke up like a year and a bit ago.
Okay. Was he also a?
Yeah, he was like an SJ.
Oh, I don't. What is that? What is
Oh, like he wears like TNs and like he has like tattoos everywhere and like got like a rat's tail.
A rat tail?
Yeah, like a ratty. It's like a little plaid.
Oh, ratty. Is that
Yeah.
they're called ratties? Okay.
And yeah, he's a bit of a bogan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you define bogan?
Like
Kinda
just like
redneck,
kind
right?
of like really Aussie, like
Really
really
Aussie.
Aussie. Like I don't even know how to define it, but kind of just like Aussie and like you're just like yeah.
Like
I don't even know how to define it.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, just like a really like big Aussie.
big Aussie.
Yeah.
He was overweight.
Oh no no.
Oh, okay, sorry.
No, like a big Aussie, as in like it was really really Aussie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right. What about you?
I'm single, have been for a year and a couple months. My longest relationship consecutively was a few months, like maybe 3 months, but it was kind of on and off for 4 years.
And is that the one that ended about a year ago?
No.
Okay. So, but your longest relationship was a few months, but it was on again, off again for a couple years.
Yeah.
Okay. How many times on and off, or off and on rather?
Oh God, dozens, if not
Dozens.
hundreds.
Wait, hundreds?
Yeah, he was rolling drugs.
That would do it.
Yeah.
That would do it.
Okay.
What was his drug of choice?
Meth.
Ugh,
No, no,
Jesus.
Wait. So
Hitting the
you said
strong
on and off
shit,
hundreds of
huh?
times. How early on into this multi-year long off again, on again relationship did you find out he was on meth? Like the first time you guys broke up?
No, so
Okay.
I met him in middle school, and then it was kind of like a talking stage kind of thing for a couple years. And we started dating, and then it was on and off again. And probably about 3 years in is when he was like, "Oh yeah, I tried meth," and I was like, "Oh okay." And he assured me that he was not going to do it again, and he did not like it. And then we got back together, and about 2 years later, he was like, "Yeah, no, I saw my body under the pier for meth," and I was like, "Oh okay."
Wait, you what? Found his body?
He would prostitute himself for meth.
Oh, that's horrible.
Okay.
Hold on.
Yeah,
I hate that for us.
To men? Like
is he?
to men?
To men.
And you were dating him during this time?
yeah, it was not a good moment.
I think you win the whatever podcast. That's very well. No need to apologize. Okay.
That's
Okay,
wild.
now?
Oh, I don't really know. The last time I talked to him, it was like a year ago when I bought my house. And he was like, "Oh, congrats on life," and I was like, "Good to know you're alive, dude." So yeah.
Huh. Okay, so off again, on again, hundreds of times. All right, we'll come back to that a little. I'll just write down meth. Okay. What about you? That'll work. Go ahead. What about you?
I am married, and my
Jesus.
longest relationship was about 12 years.
Is that your current?
That was my ex-husband.
So this is your second marriage?
Correct.
Okay, and you have kids?
We are not.
How long have you been married?
April 5th, so a couple months.
And how long were you dating before?
A year and a half or 2
So
years.
you've been together for about 2 years then?
Yes.
Okay, 2 years. And no kids at all?
No kids.
Do you want kids?
No.
No. Don't want kids. Okay.
You don't have kids, cannot have kids.
Don't like. or can't have
Charlie's
kids.
not gonna like
She's
that.
got 5 years ago.
Oh, never mind.
Oh, like a hysterectomy? Oh, okay. Sorry to hear that. All right. And well, before that though, were you inclined to have kids, or still not so much?
I've never really had the maternal instinct. I've always been very career and school driven.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. And
I don't
your
think Charlie's
previous
gonna
marriage,
like that
that's
at
almost
all.
12 years, correct?
We were married for 8 of those.
And put together for 12. Okay. All right. And Charlie, I think you kind of went over it a little bit. We'll just so married for how long?
We've been married. Got married in May of 21, so that is 3 years.
And then together how long?
5.5 years. Yeah.
All right, got it.
And 2 kids under 2.
2 kids. Congrats. Boy, girl, or?
Yeah, a boy girl combo.
All right.
And girl's older.
How many kids total are you aiming for?
We'll see.
Like a whole battalion?
Yeah, we'll see. A quiver's supposed to be 5, so we'll see. I
Okay.
think we'll get there.
What's that verse about?
It's
Children.
Our gift from the Lord.
It's something along
You're
the lines
supposed to
of
have a quiver, which is 5. So
There's this verse though, and it's something along the lines of children in man's youth are like arrows in the hand. Something I'm
the quiver verse, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
5-ish. But I don't think we'll get there. But we're super blessed.
Okay, perfect, cool. All right, so that's everybody's relationship status. Charlie, I mean, I'd like to. You heard a couple of the girl stories here. I don't know if you had any that you want to
Here
hear.
we
go.
go. It's the gold digging thing. Do both men know about each other?
They do.
And are they married or are they single?
They're single.
And they're cool with that?
They're very different.
No, just tell me more. I'm curious about it.
What would you like to know?
Do they pay you?
Not in so much as actual handing me buckets of cash. That'd be cool though. But yeah, both of them have been very generous. I like things that way. Keeps the schedule freer too, so we can all see each other.
Have they ever met?
No.
And so they're like different. Would you mind if they met?
With me, are you talking about like biblically or something?
No,
That's
I'm
not
not
my
biblically. No,
thing.
I'm fine. I'm just curious, like if they were ever to like meet each other.
I'm sure that'd be up. Sure, whatever.
Interesting. You can change the split back to it. Yeah. Did you have any other?
No, I'm just. Why not 3? More money, right?
I think everything in moderation is especially moderation. Like,
So choose moderation.
for me, it's what works. I like my life as it is, so that's what works. If
How about you? It feels like you're saying 2 is not moderation. Like the inquiry, the energy of where this is going. Because when you say why not 3, and then your follow up is 2 is moderation. I guess like you could argue that being in a relationship isn't really moderation, because it's just like you can't, unless it's an open relationship. It's one both feet are in, unless you're cheating on a person. Like it.
maybe I'll decide differently tomorrow.
No, it's a brave new world for me. I'm just learning.
Okay. I wanted to ask Charlie, do you have any plans to run for political office?
No, I do not.
No plans?
No. I'm very happy the way I am. No, I'm too young actually.
Oh, you have to be 35,
Yeah,
right?
that's right. I'm only 30, so
Committed?
I'm very happy with the life we have right now. So yeah, super blessed.
Not even in the future?
No.
You don't want it?
No.
Yeah, okay.
No, I love hosting radio, love doing the podcast, love doing books, traveling the country. So.
Okay, got it. I want to start off the show. We're going to react to a clip. Oh, wait, did I pull it up?
Of mine? Great.
No, not of yours, but I definitely want you to weigh in on it. Excuse me. So, Nick, it's actually in the Dropbox folder. I forgot to put it on one of the tabs. It's, let me get you, I'm going to see if I can just send you the link, but one sec. Actually, just go ahead, pull up the Dropbox folder. My bad, I forgot to get this pulled up. It's Dropbox, and then the videos tab. Podcast folder. Nope, in there. Podcast. So it's actually right there, the first one, first video. Wait, no, it's not. It's in this one. Yeah, that one. You should actually just pull it over to the tab.
You wanna know one
Can
of
you
the
get it, please? Okay, can you pull it over, please? You got it? Yeah. Were you able to like pull it into one of the tabs? Yeah. Okay. All right. Oops. Oh, that laptop came out of nowhere. Okay.
Has that one desire?
Nick. Okay. Wow. All right. Nick, can you? Okay, at the very bottom there. Windows tutorial. Okay. Okay, and that. All right. Go ahead and start from the beginning, please. All right, we're gonna have you guys react to this.
Do you want to know one of the saddest realizations I recently had? Was that as a liberal woman, it is really hard to find a man who is willing to play the more traditional masculine role in a relationship in today's day and age, who is not a conservative. A man who wants to pay on the first date, who wants to open your door, who has that want and desire to take care of you and to provide, who is not a conservative. And obviously, as a liberal woman, I do want to be respected for my independence, and I do want to have my own autonomy in the relationship and not be confined or conform to the traditional female homemaker, childbearing role. And most of the men that I dated who do have that more natural provider masculinity about them are normally conservative. So I don't really know what to do because I don't want to compromise my morals and values just to find a man, but I'm asking how my cake can eat it too.
All right. So we're going to get the girls' reactions just going around the table. So what are your thoughts on the clip? And do you think that liberal women deserve chivalrous treatment? Starting with you, guys.
They exist, ladies. I don't know how rare they are, though. Being a guy, I'm not in the market for men, so I wouldn't know. But I'm one of them. To some extent.
My question is liberal the same as progressive? For the most part?
They're largely
They're pretty much synonymous,
they're
right?
cousins. They're not exactly the same.
I think because of that, it'll be hard for her to find somebody who's, who has anti-liberal morals while still being progressive at the same time. With that being said, I think she is also grouping morals into just like political values, which is kind of dumb. I think she can find a guy who's morally in the right place with his head and still doesn't mind that, she goes to work. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your thoughts?
I actually agree with everything you just said because I feel like that's the only type of guys I date. Like every guy I dated fits under that, so it's not that rare.
Wait, every guy you dated fits under what?
What the type of guy that she described she's looking for?
So like liberal, feminist,
I
progressive.
don't date conservative men. Men are like straight up
Sure.
conservative, but I
But
only
you still get the traditional treatment.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. What about you?
I don't really have an opinion.
Do you think men should pay on the first date, everybody?
For the most part, yeah. Yes. It shows your role as like you're willing and provider. Like,
I totally agree.
yeah, any guy who went 50-50 with me is like.
So what do you think of the
I'm not
feminist
dating.
movement that says women should go 50-50? What do you guys think of that? On like first on dates.
I'm totally down for that, and then we're friends for life. we're not dating if we're going 50-50. I go 50-50 with my guy friends, personally.
Well, so yeah, we'll go around the table. Who should pay on the first date? Can you tilt the microphone down just
Sure.
a tad?
If it's an actual date, it's the man.
A little more. Yeah. Okay. What about you?
The man.
The man.
I think it depends on who asked the person on the date. So like if I asked my boyfriend on a date.
What's the first date?
Oh.
This is for first date.
Or even your boyfriend, you would pay with your boyfriend? No.
Or like say if I initiated the first date, then I feel like I should pay.
Okay. Well, with your boyfriend, when you guys go on dates, you've been dating for 3 years. Do you guys kind of is it 50-50 or how's it with your boyfriend?
I mean, he like usually initiates to pay, but I try to pay and help. Like
What do
not
you
just
mean
like
try?
or like because he doesn't let me. So.
Okay, so like overwhelmingly for like dates and stuff, you'll pay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then before you met him, if you were going on first dates, what was your experience there?
He'll usually pay.
The guy will pay. Because you said whoever asked should pay. For first dates, have you ever asked a guy out?
No.
Interesting. Okay. What about you? Who should pay on the first date?
So she's correct. That's the typical etiquette rule is whoever asked is the payer. For me in my romantic life, I like generous men, as we've talked about ad nauseum, so I would not be attracted to a guy who
Has it been ad nauseum? I don't know if it's been ad nauseum yet. Okay. What about you?
I think the guy, but
Yeah.
I honestly don't mind. Like, I wouldn't go 50-50 with the bill. I would rather pay the full amount, or he pay the full amount. You know what I mean?
Okay,
But
sure.
yeah.
Yeah, typically I think usually the guy should pay for the first date, but then I feel like after you guys been like dating for a while, then usually like in my past experience I would take turns. Like if I'm paying for dinner, then he would pay for like dessert.
Well, you were in a relationship for 3 years, right? So was that your 3-year relationship?
Mike Davis donated $300.
Yeah, thank you, Mike
What's up,
Davis.
Kirk? Panel epitomizes modern culture, where a pack of nobody girls can be on the same panel as a man of stature like
hold on, you for the
Kirk.
record.
Charlie, you have a lifetime.
Jesus
free pass to
Christ.
American-
This like what like you just sound like an incel. All these women don't have any value at all. All of them. It's just like you better be like we're talking about in a dating marketplace. You better be 6'4", buff, be a millionaire. Because if you don't have every single thing, then you ain't shit either, nigga. Like.
He owns like 100. That's him. Mike Davis. He's a
Jesus
long time supporter.
Christ.
That's Mike Davis. He owns.
I want to meet him. That's cool.
We'll arrange it. He owns like.
Go ahead and wipe your Cheetos on your shirt,
Yeah,
buddy.
he's a little sassy. He's a little sassy. But thank you, Mike Davis.
You're a sweet person.
Wait, so going back to you with your relationship, what was the dynamic there?
Definitely when we first started dating, he would pay for a lot more because
Okay.
he had like a source of income.
Okay.
And then the longer that like we started dating, it definitely went more 50-50. But also it kind of depended, like if I wanted to go somewhere more expensive, but he like didn't want to eat there, then I would pay because I want to go there.
What about you?
I'm like 50-50. Like it doesn't really matter. But like on first date, I feel like it would be good if the guy could pay just like a good impression, like gentlemen. But when it comes to like further down the track, like it doesn't really matter.
All right.
I think it should be 50-50 regardless of who asked.
Okay. What about you?
I think the guy should pay. I think it shows that they have more of the provider mindset.
All right. I do want to get some follow-up a little bit on the clip. We'll come back to it momentarily. Charlie, who should
Yes,
pay on
men should always pay regardless of what date it is. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, no matter, men should always pay. No questions asked. Even if it's going to debt, borrow money, it's a complete humiliation or embarrassment to have a woman pay for a date.
All right. There you go.
Do you agree? We agree? Yes,
Sure,
I
yes,
think it's the downfall of a lot of things in society where we're asking women to pay for meals. You should look yourself.
Men, my guys, what I would recommend is just, yes, pay for the date, but make sure if you're going to ask a woman out for a date, you got it like that. And know the type of stature of what type of woman, I'm not even going to say stature, that's not the right word, what type of woman you're going for. Because there are some women who are just like, the bare minimum for a date for me is like Ruth Chris. I'm probably not going to take that woman out. I've accepted that. If that's your minimum standard for going out to eat, I'm not that nigga right now. I can be in the future, but I ain't that nigga right now. So she says, if she suggests a place, you need to be honest and be like, yeah, I can't do that. Or if you know, here's my thing. If you want, depending on where you go, this should be based on a restaurant. If you go to somewhere like Red Lobster, you should aim to have like minimum $150 in your account before you even consider asking, because you gotta think about how much the meal is, how much the tip is, if y'all get desserts, if y'all get some drinks while y'all there. Like that's, you know what I'm saying, like all of that wrapped up. You can't just be, you're just gonna have to come correct, that's all. Yeah, so just make sure and don't do too much. If you know that you're gonna be stressed the fuck out for the rest of the week just so you can go on a date, don't do that, because it's fucking retarded. You're setting yourself up for failure, and you're not worried. You're not concerned about how you're going to be in the future. You're concerned about today, not tomorrow.
In the mirror and figure it out. If you want to court a woman regardless if she, women should be asking men on dates. I mean, not that there's anything wrong with it, but I'm saying like men should be the assertive guiding force, but sometimes it happens the other way.
And sort of a follow-up question on some of your guys' answers. Going around the table, do you consider yourself a feminist? Starting with you, go ahead.
I feel like that word has been so misconstrued. For example, like feminism has given rights to even like men who have had SA in the past and they're able to speak up on it now. Or
feminism.
Feminism.
Oh, got it.
Yeah.
Just for you two.
I got it. I'm just trying to keep up with the lingo.
Yeah. So men who have experienced that, women at one point weren't able to visit the hospital without their husband, and now it's given patient privacy in the sense that.
Wait, women. Hold on. Women were not allowed to get healthcare from a hospital
without their
so if they had their
male
like,
counterpart,
they had like a limb chopped off back in the farming days or some shit.
I'm sure they had
wouldn't
emergencies.
Go to a hospital.
I'm sure they had emergency, but like in terms of checkups.
This is a new feminist talking point I've heard that women were barred from getting treated by a doctor in a hospital.
Without a man, yeah. So I think it's called patient privacy rights.
Manifested this out of nowhere.
Oh no, I like searched it up before I got here.
Women
so
were barred from getting medical care.
Yes.
That's a new feminist talking
yes.
point. Okay.
However, let me finish. Just that one point. I don't believe in a lot of modern feminist ideals. I don't think men are worse than women. I don't think women are better than men. All that stuff.
So do you consider yourself feminist?
Where's the
honestly, at this point in time, no.
Okay. What about you?
As a nice easy answer, yes.
Okay.
I think I'm just neutral on that topic.
Well, you got okay. You kind of didn't want to react to the clip there. You're neutral. Okay, let me ask you a question to perhaps help things along. Do you believe in a patriarchy? That there is a patriarchy? Into the mic if you can.
Oh, I don't know.
You don't know? Did you take like feminist studies or sociology classes in university?
No.
Okay.
Do you think men run America?
No.
Okay. Do you? I don't know.
I guess there's more like men like in positions. I guess there's more men like in positions.
Okay. And do you think that's a problem? Do you think there should be a movement towards egalitarian?
Equalizing it, yeah.
Nah, these dudes,
I think it could go both ways. Like, if a woman wants to step up, then
sure.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a non-answer, but so, do you think there ought to be a movement towards egalitarianism and equality in all realms?
If you go on a show like this, you have to have like it's a dating podcast. You're telling me you have zero thoughts on dating it. Why would you even go to the podcast then? Like, I'd rather you have a bad, shitty answer than to just be like, it's people. And people be doing things, bro. It is.
And do you think that the current social order, at least through the feminist standpoint of there's this patriarchy, do you think we ought to dismantle a patriarchy, if there is one?
I mean, I think in the end, like, it could be equal, but I don't know.
Okay. What about you?
Jesus.
So can we define what you're using the word feminist? My understanding was that women should have equal access to rights and pursuit of happiness, sort of thing, but I could be wrong in my definition.
Oh yeah, there's
second and third wave feminism.
Yeah,
there's first, second, and third wave. I can define it if you want.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so first wave feminism would be like equal rights amendment. No, going back for that, universal suffrage, that women should be able to vote. Second wave feminism was like Gloria Steinman, where she wrote The Feminist Mystique, where she was rather nasty in her writing, saying that women are in a prison cell called the home and barefoot and pregnant, but that led to a lot of women in the workforce and a lot of career advancement for women, for positive or negative. Third wave feminism is that any inequity that we see between men and women is inherently wrong. So that, for example, if you have modeling, women should not earn more than men, and men should not earn more than women. That if there's any inequity, third wave feminism is very much as I forgot your name. I'm sorry, Karina. You said it's rooted in hatred.
To make it less straw-manny, I'll say any inequity or equality that's based solely on... So, like, for example, if it's harder for me to get a job as a woman because someone doesn't want to hire me, even though I have the same exact credentials as my male counterpart, then yes, that is 100% bullshit. Now, you can say, I don't want women working here, that's fine. Well, I don't even know if that's fine. But that's a more honest answer. But that is absolutely bullshit that you would hire a man over a woman or a woman over a man specifically because, well, they are a man or because they are, like... Or even, I guess it's a toss-up if they're exactly equal, but if the woman is more qualified... If you have a group of women that are more qualified and they still don't get the jobs over men, then that would be like, okay, so it's not the it has nothing to do about qualifications then. It's strictly because I'm a woman, which would be bullshit. But it doesn't mean, it's not to say that some things aren't going to be equal. Like, you could argue that why is there so much money behind the NFL and the NBA, or the NBA and not the WNBA? And it's just like, you could view that as a male-dominated world. You could view that as capitalism, and more people put money behind the most competitive people. I guess it's just an aspect of male and female physiology that because men have stronger bodies, they're going to be able to perform sports tasks. And sports are going to favor men simply because of that. But I guess you could argue the same thing. If you have a stay-at-home husband, how many people look at that man as a bitch? Like, the same shit happens when both get, like... People will say, I don't like this type of inequality, and people will fight against it. But then there's other types of inequalities that no one argues about. Or we just accept, like, yeah, that's just the case. Yeah...
hatred of men more than the advancement of women. That's third wave feminism. Second wave feminism is more of a critique that child rearing, nuclear family development, those things are largely negative, and that women should be allowed to be liberated beyond that. I'm generalizing, but that's first, second, and third wave feminism. So first wave feminism goes back to the passing of universal suffrage and all that. So I hope that's
Thank you, thanks. I didn't know the history well enough. Hating men is wrong and stupid. We need them. If we don't like them, we need them. So that's weird. And then I think it's a shame if anybody. I'd like a world where people can do what they want, and that's a shame if that people have been told that being a stay-at-home mother, all these other things, having children is lesser than, because it's not. It's just different, and it's not lesser than. So I believe that's wrong too. So I guess it'd be a no.
Yeah, so can I ask a question? Do you guys think that women, if we were to get into a war, should be enlisted in the draft?
No.
Does anybody think you should? Because this is currently being debated in front of the House, right, the Congress right now, the Senate. Senate Democrats are pushing to say that men and women, if we were to get into a time of a draft, which we had back in Vietnam, both should be drafted into war. Does anyone think that should happen?
That's how the Israeli army operates.
Sure.
I would just. It depends on what you mean by drafted into war, because everyone just assumes a combat role. What if you found out that 100% of the women that were drafted into the war just, I don't know, worked at a cafeteria on an army base, or learned medical knowledge and worked at, like, they had like a medical unit or a compound set up, and all that they never actually fought themselves? Would you feel differently about it? Because I'm not saying that's right or wrong. I'm just saying whenever you hear drafted in the army, it's always combat role, combat role, combat role. I'm not even saying it's not going to be most of the positions. I'm just saying don't rigidly have your mind set on, yep, 100% combat role if I'm drafted. Like, that's...
Right? But they don't necessarily put them at the front lines.
Well, I think Charlie was speaking about the United States.
I know,
Yeah,
yeah,
she
I'm
just
just
fucking said that.
I'm
Yeah.
comparing two together. I wouldn't want to personally.
Okay, good. How about any war? No war.
No war.
I feel like no one wants to be fucking drafted, bro. Nobody wants to be fucking drafted. Nobody does. I don't want to. How about if you draft me, you better draft the goddamn Congress. You better fucking. They're the ones that declared war. Congress is the one that says we're going to declare war with this country. If y'all gonna do that, then y'all motherfuckers can fight. Oh, now all of a sudden that vote for war dropped by 95%. Oh well, then fuck you. You're so easy to go to war for other people. If you're not the one dying, then go fuck yourself.
I'll get back to you. Why are you born?
I mean, are they going to pass the same physical standards? Because then there'll just be fewer of them.
No,
because
they're accommodated. They're accommodated for female fitness standards.
When military activity requires less physical strength, it is more sort of hacking and flying drones from a building. Perhaps women's military service could be.
But does anyone think that women should be sheltered from the horrors of war and men should lead into the nastiest, ugliest things for society on behalf of society? It's a big question. It's actively being debated.
I wonder if Charlie's gonna set this up, because he hasn't gotten much pushback yet for, like, no one's gonna say, yeah, we should hate men. So there's no, like, from what I hear, there's no, like, extremely far left feminists here. But I can see him teeing it up for, like, you can see how terrible our society is for something like we want men to go to war, but no one actually gives a fuck about men. But then again, or the idea of man is being attacked, which in some cases it is, but on the other end, I think conservatives are doing that themselves when you limit men in certain areas. Like, men should be a bit more emotional. So you're saying I should cry like a little baby bitch? And it's just like, that can be your range of emotions. You can be emotionally stunted. But there's excitement, there's happiness, there's guilt, there's shame, there's, I don't know if bravado would be... But there's, like, the spectrum, there's frustration, but not necessarily anger. There is, like, you can feel sad without crying. Like, it's like, we all contribute in a way into, like, negative things that each of the sexes or each of the genders have to deal with, but we only see the negative contributions from the people we disagree with. And if you're going to contribute to it, then shut the fuck up.
Right. And the reason I ask is,
or at least say why when you do it, it's okay.
Because feminism, if it's implemented at its core premise, is they want equal outcomes, but then also equal treatment, which is that if we go to war, women have to go storm Normandy Beach next time too, not just men. Anybody?
I want you guys to answer that question, but let's actually get the answer to, are you a feminist?
I think so.
Okay. Did you answer this? Yes or no? We can just do yes or no.
Yeah.
I don't know if you answered it. No, not a feminist?
Yes.
Yes? A little louder, please.
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
I'm not a feminist.
Not a feminist. Charlie, feminist?
Whatever the opposite is, that's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I love women, and I think women have a beautiful place to play in society, but especially third wave feminism is a toxin on society. And I think also the degradation of stay-at-home motherhood has been really, really dangerous and destructive for our society. It should be celebrated as an option for women.
Sure. And back to Charlie's question, so going around the table, so this is something that's currently being contemplated. I think, so my understanding is they're also, instead of men having to register for the selective service, they're just automatically...
So that's right. Everyone automatically gets enrolled, male or female.
Male and female. And it passed the House, but it goes to the...
Well, they're debating it in the Senate Armed Services Committee, and the bill might pass, which is just, I'm just curious what young ladies think of the perspective of maybe having to go into the military.
Yeah. So the question is, do you think women ought to be drafted
or required or protected from the draft, which would be my position.
A lot of conflict going on. So do you think women ought to be subject to forced military conscription, aka the draft, aka the selective service? We'll just go around the table. What about you?
I wouldn't
Can
say.
you strain your mic a little bit?
Sure, I wouldn't say that they should.
Perfect.
However, perhaps they have to have a more concrete role in their place either at home or if they choose to serve the country, to do it in a way where it's not at the front lines.
Can I interrupt? But the front lines argument, I think, is a little bit disingenuous because a drone operator is not the front lines, but you could kill more people as a drone operator than being on. So the question is, should we shield women from the ugliest frontline massacre situations that we can imagine?
I would say to reach optimal results, if we're speaking on war, then yes.
Yes, women should be drafted.
Yes, we should shield women from the draft.
Okay, but I want you also to think, sorry to interrupt, beyond results too. Do we have a moral obligation to protect women from bullets?
Do we have a moral obligation to protect men? We don't have to imagine if there was like a league of aliens out there that would we would love to bring upon Earth to the legion of aliens, or the galactic legion, and we can share treasures and knowledge with them about the universe. But for some reason, they just keep killing each other en masse. It's like whatever other things are going on, they forget that they're all human first. Well, when they figure that out, it's just like that's.
It's missiles and artillery shots. It's an interesting question.
I mean,
Not the missiles. The other stuff I'm fine with. The missiles, I think they can get the missiles. Go ahead.
I don't think women should be drafted because at the end of the day, it wouldn't really help the war in any much way. Like you said, the
Well, that's a really sexist statement of you.
No, because like I'm making frontline physical. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas if you're saying, oh, should they have a place in the war? Yeah, I feel like if a woman wants to, we would be in the war.
Wants to,
Yeah,
it's not forced though, right?
Yeah, no force. But if a woman, I feel like they definitely have a role in the war. They're a good, smart, intelligent woman can definitely advance the war for our side. But you shouldn't just draft any and every woman in the terms of equality. You know?
Wait, you shouldn't. In terms of, wouldn't that not be equality then?
Yeah, it wouldn't be equality in terms of a war, but I'm okay with that.
But didn't you say you're a feminist?
Yeah, I said that's an easy answer. I'm a feminist, but like he said, there's so
there's
many
conditions.
Yeah, there's.
So it's basically, oh, you're a feminist. So 100% of situations, you need to expect or you need to desire for men and women to be treated exactly the same. Okay, fine. You're not a feminist, right? They shouldn't be treated equally, right? Like, why should they be able to vote then? Like, actually, why should they be able to? Oh, whoa. You think men and women should be able to vote? Are you, okay, so you're at least a little bit feminist. You're a little bit feminist. Okay. It's just like, why? It sounds like a fucking gotcha.
There's so many nuances and so many things with feminism where I don't agree with everything he. Like if he says, are you that type of feminist that you just described? No, of course not.
Wait, which the type of feminist that's for actual equality?
Like the third wave?
Yeah, I'm not third wave or even second wave to its full extent.
Well,
I'm not,
what about the feminists that in pursuit of equality want women to be drafted? Which is very few, I think, to be honest.
Yeah,
it's mostly men that are actually pushing for it.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think many women want that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And by the way, sorry to interrupt. The women of America are largely silent on this. And for as much people hate Donald Trump, he was the one that said women will never be drafted. But I'm curious.
Yeah, well, just going around the table, do you think women should be subject to military conscription? That's the original.
I think if they have like attributes that will proceed, then I think they should. But if it's
well, it would just be a blanket general draft. So like you're 20, correct?
You're eligible.
You'd be eligible for the draft.
Yeah, like if I wanted to, then.
Not if you wanted to.
But like being forced.
That in Vietnam or World War II, every able-bodied person. How would you feel about going to war?
I mean, like I wouldn't want to.
Like if we go to war with Kazakhstan tomorrow, you're there. You're in Kazakhstan. Are you?
I'm specking.
Oh, okay. Wait, is there conflict?
No, it's just funny.
Oh, okay.
It was so random.
I don't know. I didn't want to. Anyways.
Yeah, that was pretty.
Sorry, what was that, Nick? You wanted to pull something up? But so, yes in favor of the draft for women or no, not in favor?
I just think if everyone does go to war, then like everyone goes to war.
Okay. What about you?
I look at it from a biological standpoint. Like, if you think about animal husbandry, after war you tend to need to repopulate, right? You have a lot of death.
Yeah.
So sperm is abundant. Uterus is busy for about a year, a little less, right? So when you do animal husbandry, you tend to need more females than a male. Oddly, we have a 50-50 sex ratio. I don't think anybody really understands why. This probably shouldn't be. But that said, I think losing uteruses to war death is probably long-term more damaging for a society. So even if you hate men like men, hate women love women, you probably don't want to sacrifice the uterus people when you're going to need them.
Uterus people.
The women, right? Because you're going to need them to repopulate. So I would not like a female draft.
Well, let's assume like the draft, on a micro level, I think that argument makes sense. But on a macro level, what's 50,000? We're not gonna.
And you're a pilot. You'd be frontline bombing.
Yeah.
Just dropping from
But
above.
let me ask you: would you feel as if it's consistent with your nature to get in a plane and drop bombs?
No, I would not enjoy that. If I was drafted into my service, I would do it because I love my country. But I would prefer not to.
Well, there's been an attack.
They have female pilots. What about the night witches in Russia? We've done it when we've had to. When we
Incredibly qualified, but these are largely volunteer. Well, the Russian is not as much, but they have exemptions for their draft.
What do you think on this?
I think it's up to the individual themselves.
No, but okay. So the question is like this would be something that's forced. So currently, I know you're from Australia, but I suspect there's probably a military draft or conscription in Australia where they have to register. The men have to register anyways. So in the United States, I assume it's the same in Australia. Men have to register for something called the selective service, which in wartime, if the government opted to, they couldn't find enough soldiers, they could force males to join the war effort, become soldiers. That's strictly men currently, but Congress, the government, they're contemplating making it both men and women. So do you think women should also be subject to potential forced military conscription, aka the draft?
No.
Okay. What about you?
Yeah, no, I personally would not want to go to war.
But, okay, so that's not the question. You personally wouldn't want to go to war, right?
Yeah.
But speaking in generalities here.
Yeah.
It would, because you're 21, so you would potentially be subject to the draft.
Yeah, no.
So women should not. Okay.
I don't have like an opinion on it. Like, I feel like if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
I'm sorry, you guys are giving the most non-answer answers to this question, but if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
Like,
Okay.
it is what it is.
I don't know what that means. Okay, all right, what about you?
For the sake of everything being 50-50, then yeah, sure, go for it.
What do you think over here?
I don't think women should be drafted. I mean, I know women aren't necessarily frail, but I know we are a lot weaker than men, especially same size and stature. I mean, they could beat us at any point in time unless like we have a gun.
Sure.
Granted, I know in war we probably would. And then I think just the emotional trauma of like seeing somebody killed. It's females are more emotional than guys are generally, and that would be a lot harder for us to get over.
So, and then I would imagine no one has a problem if the war got really crazy for men being drafted, right?
I mean, just historically.
Right. So then for those of you that said you were feminists,
I always found it weird or a bit. Fucking shit. Okay. Fucking shit. Can you, like, respond to me? Close that crap. Move that back. Okay. I always find it weird when people say shit like, women are more emotional than men because is anger an emotion? Is rage an emotion? Okay, so when men get so mad that they kill people, that is emotional. Every single time a man has gotten so emotional that he had to kill somebody, that's emotional. That is emotional. We do this thing. It's like when you think about it like that, okay, all the like majority of violence in the world is men. Why can't y'all just not like, unless it's like defensive, like you're protecting yourself or someone else, but why can't y'all just not let your emotions get the better of you? How many road rage videos you see dudes getting out their car? Bro, what is wrong with your emotional status? Get it together. You're a man, aren't you? It's just like, if you added anger as an emotion to the equation for men being emotional, I feel like there could be an argument for men being more emotional. I don't know if being egotistical counts as an emotion, but plenty of men are. Plenty of women are, but like, yeah.
do you see any inconsistency between saying that you want equality, but you're cool with sending men to run into machine guns to protect your society? Does anyone wrestle with that?
How do you reconcile that? Yeah.
I didn't say it was feminist.
No, but what I'm getting at, though, is that it's easy, and I know that you have all been so polite, but let's just dive right into it. It's easy at times to bash the patriarchy. Taylor Swift just today was one of her, F the patriarchy, and everyone in the concert screams that, right?
Can we Google that, Nick? Yeah.
Well, it's a lyric of one of her songs. It's not like a name tag that was dropped, but she says it like a rallying cry, like F the patriarchy. When it comes down to it, it's like you're cool throwing men to the front lines of war, but not yourself.
Why do you think the third wave has happened? Do you think it's revenge? Do you think it's a mind virus? Like,
well, I think it's.
What do you think?
It's a great question. I think that it is a idea toxin where we have really denigrated having children, staying at home for a lot of women. And some women that's the right path, for some women it's not the right path. But for a lot of women it is the right path. And there needs to be an ideological reason as to why you don't get married and you don't have kids for the vast majority of the population. And they develop feminism, where they said that for young women, becoming a CEO of a shoe company is as fulfilling as having children. And for some people that is true. But for a lot of people that's just not true. And you look at the way Gloria Steinem wrote the Feminist Mystique, it was, I feel as if I'm in an open air prison being a stay-at-home mom.
That was her representation of how she felt about society, because society's roles, in some ways, yes, is oppressive depending on how you want to look at it. The example I used earlier, if you have a stay-at-home husband, a lot of people are going to look at him as a sissy-ass bitch. Why? He's just following what he wants to. A man should be able to pave his own way and go down whatever path he is like he really wants to do, right? And it's like, well, unless it's that path. It's just like, okay. And number two, for this other point, well, we see that a lot of women, most of them don't find that having a career is as fulfilling as being a mother. Okay. If someone wants to say that that's the case for them, fine. It doesn't really matter. Should women have the choice to pursue a career and not be like, in the same way, should she have to have as many obstacles, whether legally or socially, to do the same exact things a man can do? Yes or no? If the answer is no, then you agree with the sentiment. I don't like...
Barefoot and pregnant, basically, being in the kitchen. And it started this whole push, which is where we are the same as men. And that's the problem with third-wave feminism, is that ties with the trans movement, is they don't believe there's any sort of biological differences between men and women, which we all agree is insane, right? That men and women are made completely differently. And yeah, I think it's an intellectual and ideological answer that needs to be crushed. And I think deep down most people don't even believe it. And that the draft argument actually, I think, really draws that out. Where when it comes down to it, most American women are okay sending men to war, which you should be, by the way.
Do you young ladies, like if you feel like you say, I'd like to marry and be a stay-at-home mom and not work, if any of you would say that, I don't know, do you feel like other people would shame you, that you get more social clout by saying something else?
I think it's praised right now to be a stay-at-home mom.
Okay.
At least from my social circles. Interesting. Like,
Before we
That's a new phenomenon.
Before we do move on, I'm not going to allow. Hold on. I'm not going to allow you guys to weasel your way out of Charlie's question here. So, those just show of hands. Who of you guys said you were feminists? I believe you, and then you. Oh, come on! Don't reel it back here. So, both of you said you're feminists, but you also said you're not in favor of women being subject to military conscription. It occurs to me that feminism, in the most, I guess, generous definition I could give it, is a movement towards equality. That's not honestly the definition I would give it, but to be charitable, I'll give it that. So, how do you
donated $300. Kirk, I'm a fan, but stop that corporate nice Christian boy facade. America is on its last leg, being overrun by illegals and degenerates.
Oh, wow, okay.
A time for being nice and a time for war. Now is time for war.
This is Burger King. It's Mike Davis. All right, Mike Davis. Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
That's why men should be in war. A woman would never say that. It's time for war. I've never heard that phrase in my life.
No, that's a very smart point, actually.
And so, back to my question. Those of you who consider yourself feminist, how do you reconcile being a feminist, being for equality, but also not being in favor of women being subject to forced military conscription the same way that men are? Go ahead.
Because feminism isn't just feminism, as in if you're a feminist, you have to agree with every single thought and every single idea that every feminist pushes forward, like the draft, for example.
Well, it's not.
So
It's not
just
clear to me
like,
if that's a feminist, like specifically a feminist position.
well, then if I'm not a feminist under your eyes, then that's fine. I just
Would you acknowledge, though, that that would be a pure equality between men and women?
Yeah. If
So you're
everyone
not in
got
favor of
drafted, that would
equality
be- yeah.
when it doesn't stand to benefit women?
Yeah, but again, I never pushed for 100% equality within.
Why does it have to be when it stands to not benefit? I feel like y'all are in favor of inequality when it benefits men. You could look at like pretty much all sex work and all like if you just focus on like the ability to be able to do it. Like, I hear whenever there's sex work issues or conversations brought up, it's always sex work that, in terms of women, there are plenty of male strippers, plenty of male porn stars, but that's never the fucking conversation. Ever. We never talk about men doing the same shit. It's like, why is that? That's unequal. Like, if you bring it up, people will be like, well, of course I think it's bad. Yes, this is bad. Of course, yes, of course it's sex work. Come on. Like, you would say that, but every single time you talk about or you think about sex work, in your head, there's always an image of a woman doing it. Every time. Every time. That is not equal, but you don't make any efforts to give a fuck about that because 9 times out of 10, you're probably a guy. And that inequality is in your favor. There are plenty of times where here's an unequal thing. Men, if someone's being hurt and someone needs to be protected, people will look at men to do it first. Is that equal? That we don't expect that same type of thing from women? But you would never say that it's terrible, right? It's just like there are some times where it's unequal, where it makes sense and it's logical, and there are other times where it's just rooted in bigotry or rooted in like, I just don't want to see women doing this for my own personal reasons, not because there's actually something or anything, because there's a detriment to them. Because almost any detriment you can say about the women will also be detrimental to men. You don't mind men being drafted. That still fucks. You're uprooting people's lives and sending them to war. Why is that good? But you don't give a fuck about it. That's unequal. Or you like, just make up your mind. Is equal good or bad? Don't do these fucking gotchas.
So you only want the equality that benefits women?
No, I want the equality that benefits humanity.
Okay, so so if that is, are you guys then okay when you find out that women might earn less in the workforce than men?
Yeah, if it falls under that same benefits humanity in society, then yeah.
I mean, I think women should be, if women are doing the same exact job and producing the same exact amount, quantity, and quality of work, I think they should be paid the same.
Yeah.
But generally, that's not the case.
No, you're right. Yeah, the law, you can't discriminate based on sex, but usually a lot of other factors, such as where you went to school, what you studied. So yeah, I'm just trying to flesh out the consistency.
I don't ever think it's men versus women. It's like masculine complements feminine. So I think the new wave feminism, if they're talking about, hey, women are better than men, that's like the dumbest thing that you can ever say. I think women complement men, which goes back to your draft concept.
Well, I'd like to ask you another question here. Do you think women should be barred from volunteering for the military?
No.
Well, that's interesting. They shouldn't be barred from volunteering, but they should be barred from being forced into conscription, despite men being forced into potential conscription. I'm a little confused there.
What's confusing about that?
Well, why would you, if you're fine with women volunteering, why would you object to women being forced?
I feel like we made so many points on why women shouldn't be in war.
Well, I want somebody to say, I don't think anybody should be forced. That's fucking bullshit. All the people deciding to go to war are never the ones fighting themselves, but my family members, and I gotta die. Fuck you. Where's that argument? Somebody say that. That would be my answer.
Yeah, I did actually.
Boom, and that's
a
equal.
woman being sent out to war.
Boom.
Well, for example, that was one of the
I'm
best
a
ones.
feminist
If we send
too.
half women, half men to war, and we lose an incredible amount of population, what would be the country in our workforce? Like
Well,
she said, women are the ones that are able to have one child at a time. Some occasions 2, 3, you have twins, triplets, whatever. But one man can produce how many kids in a year? One man can repopulate a population so much quicker than a woman can.
Okay, well, let's assume the conflict we get involved in is similar to Vietnam, where it's not like we're drafting like huge swaths of the U.S. population. It's more like, I just Googled it, I think the United States military conscripted 2 million service personnel throughout the course of the Vietnam War.
World War II was way more than that.
Yeah. So, I mean, if we lost, 1 million, from a population perspective, I don't think it would be catastrophic.
But again, those 1 million women aren't just 1 million women randomly. They're occupying special type of forces, like, for example, teachers. How many teachers would we lose because
What do
of
you mean?
that?
We would get like 18 to 22-year-olds. They're in the middle of doing OnlyFans or college or something.
I Vista would end up being the Marines. So let me ask.
Okay.
The Bronics donated $300. Get rid of those silly
I
Australian
don't know.
headbands twins. I have been to Australia and all their women are like them. Replace them with Jojo Leche Banks.
Okay.
Charlie Kirk looks like he's battling Metro Man.
Metro Man?
Anyone know what that means?
I have no idea what.
Saying it with Metro Man.
Oh, really? Great.
Rude. Okay, thank you. Appreciate it, I
That
guess.
was so cute.
So random.
Oh, I see what happened there. Okay. All right. Where were we? We were. I forgot.
So can I just ask a question? So if you are with your boyfriend or husband and there's a home intruder in the house, who would you expect your husband to put himself first into that situation to take care of it?
Absolutely.
Or husband, boyfriend, or male counterpart?
I know my husband and I have had this conversation multiple times. I mean, we have multiple guns in the house, and he's told me, he's like, go hide in the bathroom and hide in the closet. He's like, and I'll take care of you. I mean, I know where the guns are and I know how to use them, just in case he dies for some reason. Or I can, shoot and hopefully scare somebody away.
Right.
I think you were maybe in the middle of making a point. You said, well, that they would be teachers. And so that's why we
Well,
shouldn't
you're
draft
saying
them.
how like 1 million women dying doesn't really hurt society, and I was saying that it does because women have a higher amount of, like, in certain roles, like, for example,
Women's jobs are more valuable? Is that
No.
what you're
I'm
thinking?
saying like a lot of women's jobs are already majority women.
Right, but I was arguing your point about, like, you were making this point of, well, if all the women go and die in war, how are we going to repopulate? But, like, I don't think any conflict would reduce the female population to such a degree that it would, like, have some catastrophic.
If all the men die in war, how are we going to repopulate? This is the dumbest shit I've ever fucking heard.
If they were
It's
drafted
fucking
from-
retarded.
But, like, we're already
Actually, probably be good. I'm going to get canceled for this. It'd actually probably be good for the population if women got drafted, because here's what happens actually with the volunteer force of women. If they ever do face a deployment, a lot of these female soldiers just get pregnant to avoid having to be deployed. So actually, this is
fertility
Charlie,
rate go up.
hold on, Charlie. I think actually conservatives need to get on board.
This better be a troll. It better be a fucking troll.
With the female draft.
But no, you have to stay.
Charlie, I need you to commit on whatever podcast here that you actually are in favor of the female draft, because they get drafted, right? We draft only women, and then they're gonna get pregnant so they can avoid being deployed.
You should be in favor of the female draft, because if they get pregnant, they'll get deployed. Oh no, if they get drafted, they'll get pregnant to avoid. So we're going to use the military to force women to get pregnant. Amazing. What a great idea.
If there is a pregnancy exemption, they still allow certain
Right.
pregnant women.
What
If you're pregnant, you can't be deployed.
How about like only third trimester can't get deployed? But first
I'm
and
just like,
second.
they have pregnancy visas, they're not in there for
I think this could be a great talking point for the Conservative Party. Let's draft the women, and then we'll fix the population problem.
Which way
A lot of women will get
population?
pregnant. We will have to ban too much more, just
And then everyone's going to be raised in a single parent household. That's horrible.
no.
I
Of
hate
course,
that. I hate
they
that
get
for
married.
everyone.
They get married.
They get married to their husband who's deployed. Also,
Why not?
everything sucks.
We'll figure it out anyways.
War is bad across the board.
But wait, so okay, don't draft women because then we can't repopulate. Is that kind of the argument?
yeah, that was one of them, yeah.
Okay, what if we only draft like 1 million women?
Okay, so you want to put a marker on we can draft 1 million women and unlimited men? Wouldn't that also not be equal in
No,
your
just
eyes?
like say 1 million women, 1 million men, or 10 million women, 10 million men. That would be equal.
And if they can prove that those 1 million women are competent and would advance the war just as much as those 1 million
Probably
men,
not. But
exactly,
we
that's
still
my
draft
point. No, but that's
no,
my
but
point.
equality, we still draft them.
But wouldn't you want in a war your people
Then why
going
do
to
we
war?
have women for the volunteer force? Which are in favor?
Because I do believe that the women who are volunteering know that they can provide quite a bit to the war. They're not just like,
Oh, really?
why would assume so? Why would a woman volunteer if she's not certain that she can provide some type of,
Well, I mean, people volunteer for all kinds of reasons. Some people do it for financial reasons. There's perhaps they're coming from a very low socioeconomic position. Getting into the military can be helpful in that way. Perhaps people want an experience, discipline. They want to serve their country.
That's true, but I don't think most women would put their lives on the line and have that be their number one option. Just volunteering just because like shits and gigs. Like I want to volunteer.
Okay. Right. So I haven't really heard a compelling reason, at least from the feminist viewpoint standpoint, as to why women shouldn't be drafted.
But why would you want women to be drafted? Is my question. As a man,
For the sake of
who
equality.
wants, yeah,
For
but
the
wouldn't
sake
you
of
want your
equality.
country to like do good in war, not just for the sake of equality?
So if I make that same argument about like the workforce, would you call that a sexist statement?
With what exactly?
Would it be a sexist statement?
Yes. Almost necessarily, because you need to now find an area where women can't do the same thing as men. Can women do math? Can women do science? Okay. Can they learn biology? Can they learn chemistry? Okay, so they can be doctors. Can they learn law? They can be lawyers. They can be mathematicians. They can be engineers. Just like name something. Because usually the differences of going to war, since people are thinking about combat roles, you're thinking of, I will need physical strength and vitality in order to do this role. But now you want to talk about the workforce, which doesn't necessarily, depending on the type of job, maybe if it's a warehouse job, but I've seen men and women janitors, men and women teachers, men and women engineers, men and women lawyers, men and women judges, men and women congresspeople. What? Like, you have to actually argue why it would be different. That's the thing. The argument for the war situation, for the draft, is because if you're in a combat role, you're probably going to need more physical strength, more endurance, more vitality. That's what... And if men tend to do that better, then of course there's going to be a higher expectation on there for men. If you say that's not equal, that's fine. You need to... This is why he won't take a position. He's Weasley. She asked the question like 3 times. What do you want? Okay, for the sake of equality, you actually want
I'm not arguing this, but the same argument you're making about, well, wouldn't you want the best for the war effort? Couldn't you just make that argument about the volunteer force? So women can't join the military. You could say about policemen, police officers, firefighters, etc.
I'm not really catching your drift.
You said
you don't want women,
the
so you're trying to
best
exclude
people?
women from other workforces. Is what you're asking me?
Well, you said
And the other thing is, if you're drafting them, there is no. If someone's going to volunteer, is going to select for a specific group of people. The types of people that actually want to fight for their country, so they're already going to have like some type. They're going to have that type of people who unfortunately don't have any other option, and it's just like. Just the idea of volunteer and force being like equated. It was like, well, you're both being a part of the same thing. If you volunteer, they'll be like, oh, okay, what type of area would you be interested in going to? Oh, what can I choose from? Oh, okay, good. It's like, if you're drafted, no, motherfucker, we need you here. This is where the fuck you're going. It's like, you don't, it's not the same, bro. It's not the same. Well, it's the same institution of the military. Retarded.
You said, wouldn't you want
You're
the best
retarded.
people?
Yes, for the war. Yeah, because the war. Because like if we lose the war, is that not a big deal?
That'd be a big deal.
Yeah, so it's kind of like
But you
put
could-
equality
so-
to the
so you
side
could-
in terms of the war because the war is really going to affect all of society, not just man or woman.
But you could even draft women into positions of, for example, not frontline soldiers.
Yeah, and if you can prove that those women are competent and they can do that, then yeah, go ahead.
That still wouldn't really be equality, but it would be
wouldn't, but
closer.
that would be good,
It would
yeah.
be closer to equality.
Exactly.
Actually, most positions in the military are not frontline combat positions. So I would, So
Okay.
I'm just a little confused here.
What are you confused about? If we just agreed on the same point, just because I label myself as a feminist and I have the same opinion within this as someone
But it
who's
seems
not
like
a feminist.
you want equality.
No,
only
because
when
I've
it
made that
suits
clear.
women.
I've made that clear that I don't want it when it just suits women. I want it when it benefits society.
Well, so then you
that
acknowledge
really hard to understand?
a little bit. So then you acknowledge that there's an inequality that's currently impacting men because men are the only sex that are required to register for the selective service.
Yeah, that's an inequality in terms of when sex has to go to
So
war
your
and
solution
doesn't,
then is
not
to get rid of
equal.
the draft?
My solution to that would just be let's not go to fucking war.
Well,
That would make shit equal.
Yeah, war bad.
But obviously
War
that's
bad.
exactly. But since that's not a realistic thing that the U.S. will do, and that's why we're just
But it has nothing
continuing.
to do with the U.S. What if there's a belligerent force like China or Russia or something?
Okay, well, either way.
Beaten Cheeks donated $300. Here is a point. Feminism should have never been brought upon society by evil men pushing women to become babyless career boss B words. In the West now, what are women currently oppressed on? I'll wait.
Beaton, I'll ask that later. Are you okay? So assuming we can't get rid of war, assuming there had to be a draft,
Exactly.
would you acknowledge the current inequality that exists?
Yes, you asked me that question
Shouldn't
like
you,
4 times,
shouldn't you
I
as a
said yeah.
feminist be desirous of moving towards egalitarianism and equality?
Yeah, I've made that clear. No. Not in every single aspect.
What would a victory for the feminist movement look like, or your view of feminism? Like
what's my view of
Yes,
feminism?
or
Like-
what is an injustice or something wrong in America that you would like to see remedied or cured with your view of feminism?
Okay, I can get real specific with it. I work in the healthcare field, and I see a lot of inequality within that. So that's one way where I'm a feminist, where I can see, okay, women aren't being treated the best way within the healthcare field specifically. They don't have the same rights as a man does.
Wait, can you elaborate on
Do you mean
that?
patients or the
Patients,
voice?
yeah.
Okay.
Wait, can you elaborate? What do you mean? Like, what is the inequality?
Patient care, a man as a patient versus a woman as a patient, very different.
Can you articulate a little further?
Women don't have the same care as a man.
Isn't it the case that women see doctors more frequently? They get more. They're more likely to go visit a doctor.
Yeah, that's 100% the case. But
That's not the same thing. Oh my god, this guy's retarded. This guy's fucking retarded. That's not the same thing, bro. That's not what she said.
That's why they have to keep saying new specialists, new people.
Wait. I don't think that's the reason. I think women just tend to care about our bodies, and men only care when they're on their deathbed. That's like the typical
Yeah,
reasoning.
women like for like Medi-Cal or whatever. I don't know what it's called.
The reimbursables for women are like 7 to 1.
They're more likely to use.
Yeah, especially under 50 women.
But it's taken me like 6 months just to get a checkup. Like just
I don't think that's because you're a
standard.
woman, though.
You don't think so? Okay.
I think that why would it be because you're a woman?
I don't know. Maybe because women's healthcare is harder to get. I'm not sure. That's
So
just
you're
me
talking like
shooting in the
OB/GYN?
dark. No, just primary care physician.
Why would
actually.
that be because you're a woman though?
It actually might be because I have shitty healthcare.
That
It also could be because we're just about a couple million people from the third world in this country.
Yeah.
That
Kind of creates long lines, but it's a separate issue.
Well, could you elaborate a little further on the healthcare thing though?
Do you want me to just keep going, listing examples?
Well, you said women have. I don't know if you said rights. Like women have X that men don't.
Yeah, women are behind in the healthcare field, so that's something I would want to see women progress in.
Like in
That's-
nursing?
No, as a patient. I've made that clear.
Oh, as patients.
Yes.
How are they behind?
A woman doesn't get the same adequate care from her primary doctor, from her specialist, from whatever person in her field to be able to say, you need to do this, this, and that. But I just believe that there is something that could
Do
be
you think that women sometimes might be overemphasizing a condition that might not be a big deal?
No, I don't think so. I mean, yeah.
I'm not gonna make it through this, bro. I'm not gonna make it through this. These are the most bro. Hey, have you ever thought about the reason why you might be getting less care is because the issues you're bringing up are just overblown and you're bitching too much, you're complaining too much. You like the problem is this small, but you're actually pretending it's this big. Have you ever thought of that? That's your response, Charlie.
Possibly, person to person, there's many women who could do that. There's many men who would do that.
No, because the survey you're citing is that women think they're not getting the care that they deserve when they actually are, and then some. But you're right, men will not go to the doctor unless there's a missing link, where a woman will call their doctor as soon as they have a sniffle or sneeze or cough. And so they engage in the healthcare system more often. So when you have more interactions, more touch points, you'll have more people who think that there's an injustice when there really isn't.
That's your point.
And you also, well, actually, here we'll come back to that a little bit. I did also want to get an answer from you real quick on the drafting, then we'll move along to a different topic.
Wait, hold on. When you have say that.
How's that relevant?
No, because the survey you're citing is that women think they're not getting the care that they deserve, when I think they actually are, and then some. But you're right, men will not go to the doctor unless they're missing a limb, where a woman will call their doctor as soon as they have a sniffle or a sneeze or a cough. And so they engage in the healthcare system more often. So when you have more interactions, more touch points, you'll have more people who think that there's an injustice when there really isn't.
No, that's not true, actually. You could actually have more people engage, and then we have more people saying, nope, these injustices didn't happen to me. That doesn't, nope, I didn't see anything like that. And then I guarantee you, his argument would flip and be like, well, you see a lot of these women going to the doctor and they go more than men, but how come men and women report like equal amounts of that? Like you could like, and like, especially if women are going so much more often than men, that would even prove that there's not as much of an issue because they go more. You would expect that percentage to be higher since they can, doctors would catch, like you could do this either direction, bro.
That's your point.
I don't see it.
I did also
I don't see his
drafting, and we'll move along to a different topic. You said you're feminist, but non-favor of women being drafted. How do you reconcile that?
I mean, I think that there should definitely, I think there should be definitely things that are more, or I guess not more important, but like, I'm more for like, if I'm working a job in a lab and a man's working a job in the same lab, we're doing the same things, then we should be getting equal pay. But
what if you work harder than him? Should you get more money?
Well, what do you mean like work harder?
Put in more hours, show up earlier?
I mean, wouldn't I?
What if you're better than him?
Then they would probably recognize the hard work.
But I think you said equal pay.
I mean, I think it would depend on like.
Bro, bro, I'm not gonna make it through this, bro. You hear someone say, "I think we should receive equal pay," and in your head that means, okay, no matter what differences they happen to make it, no matter how much effort, no matter how much qualifications, no matter all of that, fuck all that. You're saying it doesn't matter. Bro, did they ever say you're lumping all of that other shit in there? Who the fuck said all that? Who said all of that? Here we go, fucking Charlie Kirk dishonest his ass again in every fucking video. This nigga's fucking stupid.
Like, if you are working harder, then I feel like you should get paid more regardless if you're a man or a woman.
So men are more likely to show up early at work. They're more likely to not take 7 to 10 years off for having a child, whether you like that or not. More likely to ask for a promotion, more likely to ask for a raise.
Which...
They're also more likely to get their boss to notice their hard work. They're better at that than women. So maybe it's not that women are getting paid less than men. Maybe just men are better at working the corporate system than women.
Well, then if that's the case, then I guess that's something we need to work on.
Wait, I have a question. Well, you didn't really answer the question, but you did bring up the wage gap there a little bit. So the question was about the draft, because you said you're a feminist, but you're not in favor of women being conscripted into military conscription. So like, just how do you reconcile that?
Well, I think they brought up a good point about how, like, biologically.
The follow-up question to Charlie, the follow-up point to what Charlie said would be this. Okay, Charlie, so you're saying that men get paid more on average compared to women for reasons X, Y, and Z. Okay. Let's say, so you're saying that if we remove those, if we do the same amount of hours, if we do the same equivalent quality of work, if we do the same amount of overtime, the same amount, if there's a woman that shows up early too, you're saying that, yes, she will get paid exactly as much as the men doing the same thing she's doing. That is what you're saying, that for a fact. That it doesn't, that's what would be the next thing. He'd probably just say yes, but that would be the more interesting part of the conversation. And then beyond that, especially if it's like a physical job, well, one, if it's a physical job, you would naturally expect more from men. I don't know why that's a level of inequality. Not all inequality in and of itself is bad. It's inequality for what reason and with what outcomes. Why are we just like, you said the word inequality, you said the buzzword inequality, that means everything, you must want every single thing to be equal, and if everything isn't equal, then you're actually a hypocrite, because it's just like, you're retarded. You are retarded.
Not as physically strong as like men, and I don't understand, like, or I guess like they do bring up a point, like how would it benefit like the United States if we're putting more women onto like the military if we're not putting like the strongest like people out?
Well, if they're not benefiting, then why would we allow women to volunteer?
I mean, but that's
it's
like,
not. It's not the same.
I mean, that's what they want to do with their time.
I'm getting triggered. It's not the same, bro. It's not the same.
It would be better if women were in it. If it was just men, hardcore men that want to win for the country. You know women better than I do.
No women.
Do you think the American military was a better fighting force when women were not in it?
I think they're a lot more aggressive, a lot more assertive. I mean, I don't want to sound like I'm hating on them, but I just think...
I don't know.
Guys, when
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that.
They're wanting to be out there fighting for the country. Women, that's not our...
Wait, Charlie, what was your original question? So, would the U.S. military be better if it was just men? Is that
yes, and I say this for a group of women who know female nature very well. You know your friend's female nature. If you're trying to create a fighting force to defeat the Russians, defeat the Chinese, and all these stupid wars, I agree with you. But if you want a good military, should women be in the military at all?
Let's get everybody's answer on this. Go ahead.
If you want the best military, not an equal one.
Just men. Just men.
I mean, but women are such good FBI agents. Like, we're just naturally good at...
Not private investigators. Women are the best at finding out that your boyfriend's cheating
Exactly.
on you. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about...
So how do we decode, like, you know...
We're talking about storming defeating the Nazis, winning a war.
I mean...
So you've... And this is... I think this is also dishonest. You've relegated the conversation to specifically combat roles. Like, what if let's say her point is correct, and women get drafted into intelligence roles in the military. Is it as bad now? Did you need to be assertive in intelligence, or is it just gathering the information? Like, this conversation is cancer. I don't know why the fuck I'm watching this video. How does this fucking trigger myself?
The military and Soviet Union, that's a separate issue.
Yeah, for the sake of argument, no. No one.
Maybe no. But also make sure that every single man that is in there also is up to par. Exactly.
Yeah, I think if the men are really passionate about it, then no women.
Okay. I don't want a world where people are barred from much.
Okay.
No.
No?
No.
I don't know if you guys even remember the question. I don't know if that's serious.
It should be on men.
You think it should be on men?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to come back to what you said really quick here. You did kind of, when I asked you the question, you brought up the wage gap, like equal pay for equal work, whatever. Do you think that should also apply to like police officers? Like they're doing the same job, right?
Between,
And like firefighters, so like should men and women be paid equally?
like between police and firefighters.
Yeah, like the police and firefighters.
Yeah.
Okay, but
Nice question. Yeah. For our two Australian friends, can I ask a question for you? Do you think men OnlyFans models should make the same as female OnlyFans models?
great question.
Yeah. Like,
So you'd be willing to take a pay cut?
what do you mean by
Like they
that?
take it out of your pocket.
Well, because men, when it comes to online, what's the word I'm looking for? Online present.
Wow! Do you think men should make as much as women in sex work, or OnlyFans specifically? And it said, yeah, of course they should. So you'd be willing to take a pay cut? Let's hear the rest of this bullshit.
Presenting yourself, earn fractional what women earn, like 1/10.
I mean, I've always been told like the gay people
Wait,
actually.
whoa. Look at this is why I can't watch this shit, bro. The dishonesty, dude. Like, this shit is so fucking dishonest. You just ran down a list of reasons why. The reason why there's a gender wage gap is because men go for higher paying jobs, or men do more overtime, men show up to work early, men make it a part of their career, or make their career so much part of their lives, and like we're banking on men to be the breadwinners. Okay, and that's why they make more money, because they actually do all these actions. Okay, what if the same thing was just for OnlyFans? What if women are putting in more hours? They're doing more videos. I'm pretty sure there are plenty. I see it when I watch porn. You got dudes that have OnlyFans. Well, is it as many of them? Or do they put in as many hours? Did you even ask that question? Did you even look into that? Because when it comes to the gender wage gap between men and women in the workforce broadly, you know, boom, 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 boom. Well, it's because of this, because of that, because of that. Okay, did you put in the same amount of effort to find out why men get paid less when it comes to OnlyFans? I want to. Are you going to bring up a single reason why? A single reason? Because if you don't, that means, okay, I didn't actually care to figure out why they get paid less, because that's not what my ideology is. I don't have to fucking research that or look that up. I can just look at, well, women get paid more on OnlyFans than men. Yeah, but there are a lot of women on there that don't get paid shit. So it's just like, what about those women? Are you going to bring those women up? How about that?
We're going to run this experiment. Me and Charlie are going to open up an OF account, and we're going to see.
No.
And we're going to, but
Let's just take,
separate.
for example, the best paid male model in the world makes about $3 million a year. The best paid female model is like $35 to $40 million a year.
Wow.
Yeah, it's not even close. It's like a 10x, and it's almost
Because women, I'm sorry, because I guess women are more valued for sex. And you can see that throughout history. That is probably going to be an inequality that's probably not going to go away for a really long fucking time. If the world drastically changed, you might see something different. Let's say something happened to where there was a disease, there was a new pandemic, and the disease spread worldwide. It only affected men, and it made 50% of men either killed them or made men sterile. The sexual marketplace for men will probably skyrocket. Number two, women in general are not, you don't value them. I'm talking about the men for their side. They don't value them for academic achievements, for career achievements, for like I don't know, unless it's like cooking, cleaning, child rearing, teacher, bakery owner, like like that, like y'all don't value them for those things. And one of the things men value women for is obviously sex and their beauty and their youth and what they look like and how and their body. Like that's where the value that men place into women. This is just what men do. So if you have a marketplace or an economy of a certain job or field that's like stripping or sex work or OnlyFans or anything like that, yes, women are going to dominate that. Okay, how come when it comes to flip the same thing, Charlie? How much does the best WNBA player get versus the best NBA player? I'll wait. Are you going to say those contracts are equal? Why? Because you would be like, well, men can perform better. They because they perform better, people can pay them more. Men tend to grow taller, making them more eligible and more capable of being able to perform at basketball better than what you would have. Boom, 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 boom. Reasons for why. Oh, actually, it's not. It is unequal, but unequal for good reason. But when it comes to this thing, let's see if he gives any reasons why it will be
across all disciplines.
I didn't even know that myself.
And so in OnlyFans, I imagine it to be the case. I mean, for example, I'm not a fan of pornography at all. I read about it in the book how I'm not a fan of it. However, in online pornography, female actresses earn way more than male actresses. It's not even close.
Well, isn't that because of the subscribers? They're more male-based. There's
Sure.
What is it? 60%
Oh, there's reason, yeah,
something like
for
that?
sure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's men. Blame men for
So I
that.
guess for my two Australian friends, do you think that there should be a law that says that you should earn the same as your male counterparts?
DRJSR 2019 donated 3.
You just got in the other girl's ass for saying that if we both work in like an office or in a lab setting or something, I think me and him should get paid the same amount. And then you say, well, what if you work harder than him? What if you show up earlier? So you've already conceded that there are reasons in which inequalities can happen off of merit. There are positive reasons for having inequality. Oh, okay. Where's that? Where were you at?
Show the panel the opening
Where's Charlie 5 minutes
who
ago?
would still believe the battlefield is a place for women. Communism is the devil and destroys the human, which breaks society.
Oh my God.
DRJ, thank you, man. Yeah, so just thank you.
I don't
We
think
ain't
that
even
at all.
talking about
It's up to how
communism.
much you post. Like, it's up to you how much money you earn by how much you are posting on your.
So it's about merit, creativity, ingenuity.
That like consistency kind of thing, like
and trying to find the right niche and everything for yourself.
Nick, you wanna pull that
So therefore, if there was a law generally in America where it says that women should be paid the same as men, you'd be against that.
Well,
Because it would apply to OnlyFans. Because it could harm you.
Pay the same thing for what? You would be against it too. If there was a thing that said men have to get paid as much as women do, but there was this dude putting in an extra 20 hours of overtime every week, you would say this law is bullshit and it's discrimination against men. But now you're arguing for it? I fucking hate Charlie.
So you're both in an industry where women
I
earn way more than
fucking
men.
hate this guy.
So you'd be...
Holy shit! How does anybody not see the like?
How many men
The,
in OnlyFans managers?
No, this is actually I went to a protest. This is me. It's terror. This is like take potato quality. Equal pay for men on OnlyFans. I went to a protest. I had a bunch of crazy protest signs, and so yeah, I think men should be paid equally on OF. That'd be fair, right?
I have a
Yeah,
question though.
I agree.
You guys set your own prices, so how come the man just doesn't set his own price equal to the woman?
No one buys it.
Exactly. So how you guys can implement that you guys get the same?
No, of course, it's market driven.
Yeah, exactly. So if
So
the law
should-
gets passed, they would still make more than the man
Well, no,
because
no.
they have more subscribers, right? And not because they're getting paid more.
It depends how it's written, but in the abstract, it would say that equal work for equal pay. That's literally what they just march in the streets for.
So your question is not so much as like getting.
but
paid
your
by
question
the,
is
like, the same-
fucking
like, maybe the same
retarded.
annual fee?
That's
It
what you
depends. So
said.
let's say
Your
there's a company
question
that
is
employs
fucking
OnlyFans models,
retarded.
and then they take a
Yes.
cut and they do all the work for you, okay? And they employ male and female OnlyFans models, and they both work 10 hours a day. The female OnlyFans models will earn $1 million a year for the company, and the males only bring $100,000 a year for the company.
That's capital, bro. You're talking about putting in market controls, and you're. I swear to God, you're one of those people that fucking hate socialism and communism. But this is what you want, bro. This is what conservatives have been wanting for the longest time. Y'all want capitalism. So an aspect of capitalism is if people want your product, your business will boom more. Why? You should be happy about this. Maybe not happy of the nature of the job it is for your personal reasons, but like you're explaining capitalism. Why the fuck should we pay? Okay, how many other people sell shit online like Amazon? I guess Amazon should get paid the same amount as all these other companies, right, Charlie? Oh, but that would be retarded because that's not how capitalism works. It's funny how everyone likes capitalism when it works for the things that they don't either like or don't give a fuck about. But the moment capitalism does something and where you hate it, like rainbow capitalism, I'm tired of seeing these commercials with all these LGBT people. Well, if the company thinks they can make more money doing it, guess what? They're going to fucking do it. If they make more money doing it compared to the amount of money they lose from having that same advertisement, if they make more in the margins, then yes, I'm gonna be a rainbow capitalist too, bro. You're telling me to not make money because you don't like LGBT shit being shown in your face. That's fine. Don't buy my product, but I'm making more bank off of it. You can go fuck yourself. How about you start a new business and you show me how it was done without doing all that? And maybe you did, but you're not fucking my paper up. People, I hate people so much. People will pick, and this dude at this point is nationally syndicated and shit, like probably known worldwide, if not then countrywide at the very least. Let's see. Hey, yeah, sure. Follow for follow. I don't. Yeah, sure. Why not? There you go. Follow. Boom. You've been followed, sir, so follow me. Appreciate you. Yeah, I just followed you, bro. But yeah, bro, it's just like, I don't understand these people. I don't understand these people at all who will like pick and choose when capitalism is good and when it's bad. Universal healthcare, capitalism is always good. Why do you want to bring socialism? I no habla español, lo siento. I don't get it. But when it comes to this, he's talking about putting in restrictions. Then again, all of this could just be like a thing where he's talking about it to where like he's making a point, but I can't tell because he's been arguing for it for too fucking long. Like, is capitalism good or not, bro? Can we start with that conversation? Or capitalism only when you fucking like it? The fuck?
Should they have to pay both of them the same because it's equal work for equal pay? Or should they
I'm lagging. Hold on.
give more money to who's actually bringing money to the door, the women to the company?
I'm from the US.
I don't know. I don't have an opinion on like that kind of stuff. Like,
I think you both know the answer. You're just afraid to say it. That,
no.
that
Like-
women should be able to
Okay.
earn what they earn and they provide in the OnlyFans model. I find OnlyFans to be disgusting. That's separate issue we talk later. But I'm just trying to find this. However, how is that any different in a corporate environment when men are more likely to travel for work, they're more likely to go make the second or third call for a promotion or a raise? So the equal pay for equal work movement kind of falls apart.
I think this shit, I don't know why this shit is lagging like this.
When it comes down to online female modeling, doesn't it?
Why is this shit lagging so far? Messy.
honestly, I don't think like I think it should be fair. Sorry, I think it should be fair between like how much they earn, but that it is actually up to like how much you want to earn by the amount of posting you're doing. If you're not posting anything, you're not going to make just as much as that girl that is posting all the time.
Okay.
Yeah. Me and Imogen don't earn the same. She posts more than me, and like she makes more than me.
Is that fair?
Well, I think it is fair because it's up to me.
I agree.
I think
so should we structure all of society that way? Who works the hardest gets the most?
Yeah, so
we
I'm
agree.
like-
Our feminism is dead.
Let's say I work 2 hours a day when she's working 8 hours a day doing TikTok reels and all that stuff, like making content for the OF wall and everything. She's
No, because maybe it's because here we are now, and there's been a bunch of crazy feminists out there. That now, whenever someone says feminists, we don't know what they mean. That's why you ask people, "Hey, when you say feminist, what do you mean by that?" That's why we have to do that. If you accept that, yes, it should be 100% merit-based, you would have to disagree with anything, which means, no. If there is a woman who can do a better, let's say out of 100 people, and there's 50 men and 50 women who go through like a, like, let's say like a physical exercise, and we're going to grade you on who's like the best. It's probably going to be more men that fare better than the women. But but in the top 50, there's like 43 men and 7 women. There are people who will be like, I don't give a fuck if those 7 men and those 7 women beat out 7 other men. Those 7 men still are going to move forward to the draft. And it's just like, okay, well, now we're not talking about merit-based anymore. we sideline that because depending on what area we want to look at and which values we want to uphold at a time, I would say Kendrick. I like Kendrick's vibe and his music. And Drake, I would just say Drake is probably more popular as far as like numbers and shit. But in that beef, I would definitely say Kendrick won. 100% Kendrick won. Yeah. But I probably have more Drake. Do I have more Drake songs downloaded on my phone? I probably do. Yeah, but as a lyricist, I think listen to Dookie. I do not. I do not listen to Dookie. I don't know who that is. But yeah, like people will, depending on what area we want to measure, we will ignore principles that we said we valued, depending on the fucking situation.
Then I'm being like lazy, I'm laying back, I'm not making that much. So
You're making an argument for market-based capitalism pretty well.
I think that it's up to the men. If he was to work just as much as Imogen, doing 8 hours a day, then he should just earn just as much. But
By law, or just let it happen?
Just let it happen.
Okay, and if he falls short and he ends up earning half?
Then just work harder because she's been working
Got
hard.
it. So if you look at a big...
I'm about to fucking hold on.
Company like Apple,
Yeah.
and I tell you that the female engineers earn less than the male engineers. Just let it happen, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Just let it happen. No?
Oh, no, I agree.
Oh, yeah, just let it happen.
Yeah.
Okay, I agree.
Yeah.
That we are wrecking new age feminism here.
Destroyed. Annihilated. Okay.
Imagine saying we're wrecking new age feminism when you have people who are feminists that also denounce new age. There are women who look at other women who say, "Oh, y'all hate all men. Y'all are fucking insane. We need men." If you're a man saying the same thing, I hate these bitches. It's like, then you're insane too, bro. Well, I just don't. I don't. Listen to Dookie. He reacts to Dookie, please, bro. I will at some point, if it's interesting. Maybe I'll throw it on stream. But I'm a very like argument based type of react streamer. That's like what I'm going for. Like reacting to people's arguments. What arguments they're making, do they make sense compared to what the person said? Are they listening to the other person? That's kind of where I'm at right now. Maybe one day I'll get to reacting to pop stuff on stream when I have like way more time and stuff and when I'm bigger. But right now it's just like strictly arguments and shit and debates and philosophy, politics to some extent, because I think politics is downstream from philosophy. But that's kind of where I'm at right now, my guy.
I want to come back really quick. You brought up the wage gap. Let's see. Wait. Hold on. You brought up the wage gap. You're saying, well, should be paid equally in, if you're doing the same job. Is that correct? So and do you believe that there is a gender wage gap? Since you brought it up into the mic.
I mean, that's what we've been like taught in school.
That must be true, right?
That's what you've been taught in school. Okay, so shoot, I missed my notes on
720. This, bro. This shit is fucking up my internet. This is why I need an actual computer instead of trying to do this off of a laptop.
The specific thing with the wage gap. This is kind of an interesting stat that we found out recently. So what are your thoughts on, for example, they actually found that Asian women out-earn white men. Do you subscribe to that wage gap?
I don't know.
Nick, can you pull up the data on that? So median weekly earnings of full-time workers, white men versus Asian women. So you have white men, Asian women there. Recently just the Asian women. You guys are killing it. Good job, Maddie. Good job, Maddie, back there.
Why is that?
You guys are killing it.
Do we know
Good
why?
for you. Cool. Different. I don't know.
Like, okay.
Is it a skill issue? Something like
I
this?
don't know, man. But is this perhaps evidence of Asian women oppressing white men? I think that's what it is.
Oh my God.
I think Asian women are oppressing white. I'm kidding.
They're just working harder.
Could be.
Sometimes
I hate this guy. This guy
I remember my
is
question.
fucking retarded. I hate
Sports.
this guy so much.
When it comes to basketball, soccer, there's been a bunch of articles on this. Do you think that women in sports should be
Holy
paid the same as
shit.
men's sports? So like men's basketball, women's basketball. I want to start with you. I'll open it up to the rest of the panel.
I mean, I think that generally the men's sports are watched more, so I think it would make sense that they would get paid more because they have more like views and
Anybody want to?
sponsorships.
See, I agree with that. I mean,
Anyone object to the differential payment though in sports? Should it be equal in sports? Should be equal. Female basketball players should be paid the same as male basketball
It's like the
players.
most base panel ever.
Well,
you're talking about pro sports, not like the Title IX stuff in colleges and like spending for
professional
sports.
sports. Professional sports.
I
Yeah.
don't
That's like
speak,
we had this-
I don't speak the language, so I don't know what you're saying.
No, but so women don't earn as much as men do. Okay, reasonable. All right. And by the way, JSR, I'll just quickly adjust your message that came through. By the way, I just paused them temporarily really quick just to get through a few things. I'll let a few of them come in. JSR, yes, the scene from Saving Private Ryan, absolutely excellent. Also, All Quiet on the Western Front, it's available on Netflix. Strongly encourage you guys to watch that. It kind of shows the savagery and brutality of warfare. So, okay, we hit that. We've hit the draft stuff. Actually, really quick on the draft stuff. Charlie, I got to push back here against you a little bit here. I'm in favor, Charlie, of women being drafted. Now, here's why, Charlie. First off, actually, that just hurts me the whole, like, well, then they would just get pregnant. They just go and get pregnant to avoid deployment. Service guarantees citizenship. That's the other thing. And then also, I say frontline combat too. Like, soften them up a little bit. Then when the men come in, like, soften up the enemy. So, like, send the women first, and then, like, they like soften them up, and then, like, the guys can come in and, like, finish the job.
This is a troll answer.
To use women as human shields.
No, not as human shields.
That's a stupid word.
No, but, like, soften them up a little.
That's kind of almost what you said. Bro. Is that ever gonna happen? Oh wait, there are women on the front lines. Let's just not shoot them.
Okay, so I did want to ask. I don't know why I wrote this down. I wrote down capitalism for some reason. Just really quick, is everybody in favor of capitalism, or would you prefer some other?
I mean, it creates like problems like. The over usage of adult content, for example, I think that's a product of capitalism, and
so there wouldn't be no OnlyFans if we were like communist or whatever.
I think they're probably not. There's probably still gonna be like some runaround, but I mean, no, that doesn't mean that. No, one doesn't negate the other.
Okay, so in favor of, I don't know why I wrote this down, but in favor of capitalism, or would you prefer like socialism, communism?
Capitalism is okay.
Okay.
I say it's fuck capitalism actually, but I also that's the only option we have at the moment. I'm not for socialist or communism or any of that.
Okay.
So yeah.
So you acknowledge that there's issues within capitalism, but despite those issues, it is currently the best system that we have.
Exactly.
Okay.
I don't really have an opinion.
So if let's say we were communist, you would not be able to. If it was like you wouldn't be able to like dye your hair blonde.
How do you know my hair's dyed?
How do
you know my hair's dyed?
Just a guess.
Oh, she hit you with that one, bro. How do you know my hair dyed? This is like, why does it matter? Just conversations about socialism and communism, it gets so fucking annoying because it's not even like people. There are good aspects to capitalism. There can be good aspects to socialism. Could be good aspects to communism. Why not just blend these together to get the best of all worlds? Who would have thought? Who would have thought about taking the best things from multiple different systems could yield the best outcomes? Jeez, holy fuck, give me a Nobel Prize. Jeez. It's just like, if you're a capitalist and you think there is a need for any such regulation, any such restrictions, any such bureaucracy, then you're not as capitalist as you could be. You're a little on a socialist, a little bit. You're a little there. You're not laissez-faire 100%. So I don't understand I do not understand these questions when people are you socialists or communists? Well, in the United States, I don't even think there's a congressperson that is a socialist. Like an actual fucking banning of private ownership. Every business should be like a co-op. Every business, there should be central planning everywhere. Like, I don't think there's anybody doing that. Not even Bernie Sanders. I don't even think Bernie Sanders goes that far. And people still call him a socialist, though he calls himself a democratic socialist. It's a spectrum, and people just hear the word socialist and assume, okay, I know every single fucking point you agree with.
Just a hunch, you know?
Also, like, can you just define it then? So that
hair dye?
No,
or
like
define what?
Yeah.
I'm gonna
what is communism?
Kirk,
I'm not saying this.
Or, like, why
Do they teach communism in college anymore?
Or like I'm just saying, like, why do you bring up me being blonde?
Well, he was making a tongue-in-cheek point of saying that in communism, it's total control of one's life, totalitarianism. So you can get stupid and arbitrary rules like that.
Communism be able to buy hair dye.
Yeah. Could you argue that Native Americans before before United States, didn't they technically live like communist style without like a central government though? They had their villages or their tribes, and everyone worked together. Everyone either hunted or gathered, got some fish, like hunted something, made clothing, like everyone pulled together resources and took care of everybody. Why is that not communism? Like, even community is in the name. Communism. It's about the community, but because we've had a lot of millions of people die in the name of communism throughout history, now that's all communism can be. What would you call a system, what would you call a town to where everyone pitches in, everyone shares resources, everyone helps out everyone else with their problems, and it's like a town of like 5,000 people. And there's no individual structured government. If somebody does something wrong, all the people in the town get together and be like, they go over the wrongdoings and what's most likely fair and how do we want to live. What would you call that? What system of governance would you call that? Is that not communism, or does communism require a top-down approach from a government? Like, I don't even know this is what communism is. Because the way
maybe they prioritize that. I don't know. Maybe. Here, I just show hands. Anybody against capitalism? Let's move along.
You could argue, actually, that depending on the way your capitalist society is set up, let's say the top companies have their own thing to where, like, you can work at our company, whatever the fuck, but no one can have blonde hair here. If you have blonde hair, we're not going to hire you. You can still work. If you dyed your hair a different color, we'd hire you, even if you're the same person. Even if we like you in an interview, just say, hey, you got the job, but you got to dye your hair a different color. You could argue that if enough companies do that in the capitalist system, at a certain point, it will eventually lean into oppressive to the point to where if I want to make a living for my family, I have to not be a blonde. Like, we could theorize multiple situations in which communism or capitalism will still restrict people from living the lives they want to. Like, this shit is fucking retarded.
It's total unfettered capitalism is brutal. That's why we have, antitrust laws and some things to regulate when it's completely unfettered. But for sure, I'm gonna get it wrong. There's somebody famous who said it's a terrible system, but better than all the others, right?
Sure. Okay, I think that's nobody. I'll let a couple of these chats come in. They're gonna come in just a second. Then I want to come back to that clip we saw because we didn't really get a full reaction to it. Then we have a couple other things we need to react to. Sorry guys, we're just letting a few of these come in, and I'm gonna shoot. Sorry guys, we're on a delay here. By the way, guys, Charlie's book.
Oh, it's going great.
Dr. Larry donated $300.
Thank you, Doc.
Bangs Jr. There are more women than men doctors in primary care, and there is a specialty exclusively devoted to women's health. Men do not. How are women patients underserved? Cheers, Charlie.
Do you want to address that really quick? How are female patients underserved?
I don't feel like addressing that right now. We've already moved way past that.
But, do you want to add, I'll address it. Hold
I'll ask you a
up,
question. We're not going to debate it, at least now anyways. Do you think that part of your position...
I don't think people understand what her statement was earlier. When people say, oh, women receive, like, worse care treatments, that means when it comes to being a patient, sometimes the doctor, I don't know, my guess, this is going to be my guess, because I haven't looked into it, but when I hear her describing what she was describing earlier, that means it might be harder for you to get a prescription, because they might think, oh, you don't have as much pain as you say you have, circa Charlie's fucking response earlier. So instead of giving you this pain reliever, I'm going to give you this pain reliever. So this person got a prescription, they're still in pain, they're just in less pain than they were before, compared to if they were a man, they would just be like, hey man, this shit hurts like fuck. And they're like, alright, here's this shit. And then now his pain is completely gone. And it's like solely or especially black women, holy shit. Like, hey, I have this problem. And no, you don't. Oh, it's all in your head. Oh, you're just crazy. I don't know what you're talking about. You have a higher tolerance for pain. Or I can do this. You might be bleeding a bit, but it's okay. I know you're stronger and tougher than any other race of women comparatively. So if you have a bit more blood loss, you can just take that. And it's just like, those are the types of shit we're talking about. The idea that there is a women's specific division in the medical field to counteract that would actually prove her point. Because if there isn't a men's one, you could say, well, men just don't give a fuck about themselves enough. That has nothing to do with my problem. And number two, why would they need to make a women's division if it was already fucking equal? Just get rid of it, because you don't need it then, right? There's no reason for that institution to be made. It's a made-up, manufactured institution, correct?
Position on that has to do with abortion rights?
Jesus fucking Christ, bro. I'm not going to make it through this.
Joe Murphy, sorry guys, a couple of these chats are coming in. I'm going to read them, and then we'll get back to the reaction to that clip that we pulled up. Kirk, can you make these same arguments about equal pay about any other institution but OnlyFans?
Yeah, healthcare.
Okay.
Female nurses are more than male nurses. And there are also more female nurses than male nurses.
All right.
Also teaching as well. Elementary school teaching. There's also more women that are OBGYNs than men OBGYNs.
All right. And then Cheeks here says, I'm extremely disappointed that nobody knows what real feminism is. In extreme, short feminism is the destruction of the nuclear family. Patriarchy never was about equality. Drizzle. Okay, thank you, Cheeks. Appreciate it. By the way, if you can just get into the table a bit, you're just going to cut out a frame there. Okay, thank you guys. I'm going to pause it just temporarily just to get through our next couple things, and then I'll get the super chats later.
Imagine saying that the idea that we should get paid more and respected as much and as equally, and we have more to offer than just our bodies, our looks, and being a mother, is equivalent to the destruction of the nuclear family. These internet people, bro. I like to stream, but being involved with these internet people, bro, go outside, bro. Touch some grass, bro. Go for a walk. Go for a walk and ask yourself, why the fuck do I think the things I think?
So going back to, if you guys recall that clip that we were looking at, so You guys all remember, essentially, she's this kind of more liberal, progressive woman who's like upset that she can't find, at least among the men that she wants to date that match her values and match her progressive, liberal, feminist values. She doesn't get the traditional treatment from those guys. What are your thoughts on that, on the clip? And also, do you think liberal women deserve chivalrous treatment? So I think we were...
I think women in general deserve chivalrous treatment. What the fuck kind of question is...
Can you explain more on that?
So, do you want me to repeat the question, or? So, okay, do you think liberal women deserve... Do you know chivalry, right? Yeah. The guy opening the car door, paying for the first date.
Walking next to, on the left side of you on the street instead of the right side, so he's walking closer to the car in case something happens.
Would you agree on that?
So, do you think liberal women... Because chivalrous treatment I would categorize as traditional treatment, but it's not clear to me if liberal progressive women are traditional women.
You know what would be crazy? This is... I just thought about this. You can play a traditional role and still be a liberal. If the world didn't tell you that already... I just blew your fucking mind.
So let me hear. Do you think non-traditional women are deserving of traditional treatment or chivalrous treatment?
No, I don't know.
All right, what about you?
If a lady is a lady and a gentleman is a gentleman, he should be treated like a gentleman and she should be treated like a lady. I don't... What the fuck is this question?
I don't think it's for me to say what people deserve and don't deserve, but I do think that if you're dating liberal men, you're less likely to get the sort of traditional types of things. We see that in Scandinavia, for instance, where women have even more power and money per capita than here, and so men are very 50-50.
Right.
So.
I'll just get your guys' answers again if you already answered it. Do you think liberal women deserve chivalrous treatment?
Of course.
And you said you've received it.
Yeah,
right?
every guy I've dated.
Because you consider yourself progressive, right?
Yeah.
Liberal, feminist.
Yeah, I'm not like hardcore liberal,
right,
but I'm progressive, and I don't see a reason to ever date someone who wouldn't give me chivalry.
Okay.
I think every woman deserves the wonderful experience of a man courting her and treating her well and respectful.
Okay.
I agree. I think that they deserve to experience. Yeah.
And so you deserve that, correct?
Yeah, I think I deserve it.
Yeah, I think women or liberal women do deserve that.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with that as well.
I think ladies deserve to be treated like ladies, and not all women are ladies.
Well put. Okay.
So I think everybody deserves the experience of at least once having a chivalrous guy. I don't believe that all women want the chivalry. Sure. Especially the more progressive feminists. That's true.
Okay. Charlie, I think you recall this the clip.
Yep. I mean, you don't always get what you deserve in life. But yes, every woman should be treated the same, regardless of their political views. But if you are progressive and you go out of your way to go, date femboys, then don't be surprised when they can't even hold the door when they open it.
Well, I have a question for you, Charlie. I mean, do you think the type of men that are more likely to give women that more traditional treatment, do you think they would lean more conservative or liberal?
Chivalrous treatment?
Chivalrous.
Oh, conservative, without a doubt. Yeah, without a doubt. Because, I mean, and that's a generalization. I mean, there's exceptions to every rule, but the vast majority of conservative men would, at least everything I understand, would consider to be insane not to treat the lady with chivalry. Because men, conservative.
Yeah, but talk about all the conservative men that go too far in the other direction. Hey, I was just gonna go hang out with my friends. No, the fuck you not. That's a lot of conservative men as well. You should only be... How did Andrew Tate get so popular saying some shit like, you don't need to go out by yourself, I'll be there with you? If you have a good woman, she's not gonna want to go out anywhere, because what's she out there doing? Bro, do you go out? Well, yeah, I'm a man. What you out there doing? That's different. Fuck out of here.
Conservative movement in general is much more understanding and appreciative and trying to protect the natural order of male-female differences and distinctions. And that's one of our differences. Do you have a thought on that?
I have a question. I completely agree with what you said right there. But what would you say about incels who describe themselves as part of the conservative community?
Incels? So they should go find a wife. That's what I say, regardless. I mean, I think that it's destructive if we have single men is a big problem. In the Bible it says, God said to Adam, it's not good for man to be alone. Men being single over 30 is a big problem. And by the way, women being single over 30 is also a big problem, and I talk about that. But single men are more likely to commit crimes, more likely to go to jail, more likely to get the drugs, more likely to be isolated and distant on society. Men need women as much as women need men.
So if it was up to you, you wouldn't allow the incels to be a part of the...
Well, allow. I mean, if you believe my value system, but if I ever confront them, I'm going to tell you, get your life together, get your act together, stop being a loser.
Valid.
So...
This is actually a perfect segue into our next segment.
Good answer.
Charlie, you came under a bit of heat.
I've never said anything controversial.
Never. You got some backlash. You got slammed. That's what the news articles...
Nick, I put a trigger warning before. This is a spicy clip, but you guys can say whatever you want about me, but it's not the full context, just so we're clear. I did say it.
Yeah. So Nick, pull those out. There's some news articles. You're always in the news, Charlie, but you said... I mean, and I think they're probably taking you a little bit out of context, but...
I said it, but that's not the totality of the point, right?
Birth control is why women are so bitter.
That's not the only reason.
You got slammed for calling women in their 30s not
I said hormonal birth control messes with women's brains, which is true.
And then you faced backlash for saying women in their 30s are past their prime.
Yeah, not exactly what I said.
And I do, if... You defend. By the way, so we're going to pull up a couple of the clips. If they exclude any additional context, you can let me know. We can pull up the whole thing.
No, it's fine. Okay, it's fine.
Or just tell us what the additional context is.
I hope you get the spiciest clips.
Okay, we'll get the spiciest clips. So we'll start with the first one. There's 3 total. Nick, if you can go ahead. Go for it.
A lot of them are on birth control too, and birth control really screws up female brains, by the way. Every single one of you need to make sure that your loved ones are not on birth control. It increases depression, anxiety, suicidal ideation. Birth control is the #1 most prescribed medication for young ladies under the age of 25. They will get young ladies birth control for pimples, for acne, to control their moods, their period. It is awful, it's terrible, and it creates very angry and bitter young ladies and young women. That bitterness then manifests into a political party that is the bitter party. I mean, the Democrat Party is all about bring us your bitterness and we'll give you free stuff. It's like we'll trade you bitterness for stuff, essentially. That's like the Democrat Party. A lot of them are on birth control too. We can play it again.
Yeah, exactly.
To be clear, I meant hormonal birth control, to be very clear. So yeah.
I think that I don't think I really disagree too. I know birth control does a lot of physiological changes and changes to your brain, like water weight, emotional, hormonal. There's a lot there. So I don't know how much I would. No, I wouldn't. The only thing I would say is just like I can't know for sure. Like, oh, I found out this woman is on hormonal birth control. This bitch is crazy. Like, I don't think you could walk up to an individual woman and make that claim and know that. But
yes, I think it'd be interesting to at least hear from the women. Is anybody here currently on hormonal birth control?
No, I actually hated birth control and how it made me feel. So
do you sympathize with what I was clumsily trying to say?
A little bit, a little bit.
How did it make you? Can I ask? How did it make you feel?
I was kind of confused when you mentioned what was that you said? What causes them to go into that political party? They start getting bitter.
But I'm more focused on how did it make you feel? Like, were you depressed, anxious?
Oh yeah, it made me feel horrible. My skin was awful, and I didn't feel like I was aligned with my life. But maybe I'm just too in tune. But it's not better or worse.
I'm also not on birth control. I also didn't like my experience with it.
No, I've never been on birth control.
I took it years past in my late 20s, and I also didn't like the way it made me feel. Heavy progesterone, a lot of depression, and yeah, I no longer have to deal with that.
I used to take it when I was younger, but I didn't agree with it, and the way it made me feel like sick, gave me a bit of acne, and I think it's the reason why I did come up with endometriosis.
Wow.
Yeah. So I didn't agree with it.
I'm not on birth control, but I used to be on the pill. Personally, for me, I didn't experience any side effects. My skin was really clear, luckily. But I stopped taking it because I was just scared of the side effects that it might have.
Rip. Hold on. Keep going, guys.
I've never been on it before.
Never been on it.
I'd say in addition to the side effects, there's also been a couple studies that have come out showing that women that are on hormonal birth control look at more the beta guys, and then once you get off of it, you're looking for more the alpha type guy. And I would say in my experience, I was on hormonal birth control because I had endometriosis and PCOS.
Oh, wow.
And my ex-husband was very much beta. Had a hysterectomy, decided I wanted to divorce him, and I am now very much with a very dominant alpha male.
Awesome.
But yeah, terrible side effects.
Do you feel those of you that were on birth control that they properly informed you of the possible side effects before you went on the pill?
No.
They didn't let you know about the spiritual side effects, which was like hanging out or getting guys who were like less of your caliber or whatever that was for you. Because I had a similar experience of like unalignment generally.
So you felt that you were attracted to different people while you were on the pill?
Sure. I was
That's amazing.
It was only like a few months, but yeah.
Maddie, can you fix that, please? Okay.
There's an interesting study at my alma mater that they found exotic dancers made way more money when they were not on hormonal birth control because and I'm not sure either men can sense it, like maybe smell or maybe, we don't know, or maybe women like men better. They don't know for sure, but it made a distinct difference in their income. Go figure.
Okay, Nick, there's another clip. Can you also just see the volume on Twitter?
You said you had a question about the second part of it, of my comment?
Oh yeah, what did you mean about they were distressed? Was it distressed?
I said that bitter.
Oh, bitterness.
Yeah, if you get too far in your life, most young ladies deep down want to find a partner, they want to get married, and they want to have children. There's exceptions to that, but if you suppress that for too long, it can create a lot of bitterness.
Okay, I can see that.
Nick, can you pull up the other clip? It is Max. Okay.
If that's the path you want to go, yes.
Now he's saying get your kids off birth control.
That.
And praise God, they shouldn't be on birth control if they're your kids.
No Christian parent should ever allow their daughter on birth control, ever. Period. That is, if your daughter's on birth control or granddaughter, get them off immediately.
Now he's saying
yeah, same thing. Yeah, and again, I meant hormone. I was using a filler term, hormonal birth control.
Okay, and then the next clip I think is the one that drew the most ire, not just from both.
Can I say this ahead of time? So a better way I could have said this is that as you get older, your dating pool shrinks. I said it fine, but like there's one word that's clumsy there. And I met my wife Eric when she was in her late 20s. We're now super happily married. And we have 2
You did
kids.
nothing wrong, Charlie.
Huh? No. I want to be clear though, because again, no one is above criticism or reproach. However, the essence of what I said is 100% true. That's what I will say. Is that you can kind of sometimes stumble over your words, but the essence is 100% true.
All right, let's play the clip. Girls are going to react to this. Go ahead.
We basically told a great generation of young women, don't get married, don't have kids, go get a corporate job, and it's created mass political hysteria. And then in their early 30s, they get really upset because they say, the boys don't want to date me anymore because they're not at their prime. And people get mad when I say that, which is true. If you're in your early 30s, I'm sorry, it's like you're not as attractive in the dating pool as you were in the early 20s. But again, you have a corporate job and cats, so I thought, we basically...
There you go. Was the audio boosted on that one then? Oh, okay, that's super low. Anyways, your reaction to the clip starting with you. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. Where's the cricket? To cue the crickets.
Yeah, say whatever you want.
I really don't have anything to say about that. I mean, yeah, the dating pool does shrink. That's very true.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
Any reaction to that?
I also don't really feel like I have to make a comment on that. There's really not much to say.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What about you?
Sure, dating pool shrinks. Also, some women want a job in cats, and for them that's a good time. Again, I lean toward a world in which people can do what they want. Sounds like an anarchist, right?
I honestly don't have an opinion.
We suck.
Yeah, I know.
Here,
I thought when you told me you were going to play my tapes, Brian, I was going to get screamed at and people were going to throw stuff. I guess I'm not as controversial as I thought I was.
Yeah, see, you got a warm reception here.
Yeah, I don't know.
They co-sign everything.
Bunch of politics.
You don't have to answer, no, but I do have a question. If you want to make it cooler culturally for young women to want to be mothers and be married and anti-Stein himself, then there's got to be a long-term plan, right, to change the culture.
Yeah, and that's part of what I'm first trying to live what I believe and build a family because I think that's important. But I'm also trying to advocate this in a culture where it's not always celebrated. And I would love to just really go quickly around the horn, super quick. If you had to choose between, if you could only pick one, marriage or career, which would you choose? If you had to choose. Can we do that?
Yeah, can I add one thing? So is it great, amazing career or beautiful, healthy family?
That's correct.
Okay, that was
if you had to choose. Now, you can't have both in life, but if you could only pick one.
I would say marriage.
Marriage.
Yeah, the healthy family.
Family.
Marriage.
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 Marriage. Can I answer the other question?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So I actually want it back.
I feel like most men would choose marriage too, so they don't kill themselves by the age of 43. Like, I would agree.
One, you're not really in your prime once you turn 30. I know I got married at age 23. I mean, I was pretty. I was an athlete. Married the wrong guy. Became obese. Yeah, not now, obviously. But yeah, once I divorced him after I turned 30, the dating pool was vastly smaller.
Thank you for defending me. I could have used you a couple months ago. So,
I'm Phoenix, so.
No, that's right. We should talk. No, and the last question I'll ask is I want you to think about it. If every single you said marriage, are you making deliberate steps every day to get closer to that goal, or are you making steps to get closer to the career goal?
Starting with you, go ahead.
Because I believe that in a marriage, since you're coming together as a contractual agreement, I do want to provide to a certain extent, just in case my husband can't. I am going towards a career at the moment.
No, I only ask this, and again, you don't have to go around the horn. I think it's important, though, to answer your question. Far too often, we do not tell young ladies, if you have to prioritize one more than the other, would you rather have your tombstone say, CEO of a shoe company, or loving mother of 3 children and a wife? And if you'd rather have a loving mother and of 3 children and a wife, then you should prioritize that more in your early 20s than your career or going to college. Because the tragedy is there are far more single early 30-something women in this country than married 30-something women in this country. It's the fertility rates the lowest ever been, marriage rates the lowest ever been, and it's because we tell young ladies you can wait forever to do this, and that's not the case for everybody. It's the case for some people, but not the case for everybody. And I think it's a tragedy.
I think, well, even when you have a family, you should.
I'm trying here, man.
Even when you have a family, you should still have like. What happens when the kids are done and they graduate and they move on out of the nest? What does women do then? Does women just take care? Well, that's assuming.
That's a really smart question, though. In fact, we are doing everything the opposite. We should say focus on family formation in your early 20s, then go to college in your late 30s.
Sure, but what if you?
Because college will always be there. No, that's a very fair point. Love and life come with a huge risk.
Sure.
But the greater risk is dying alone.
But I feel like we also have to acknowledge the fact that one of the reasons why so many women don't want to prioritize marriage right now, just straight out of you're 18, let's work on getting married and having kids and then think about college, is because college gives you so many opportunities that like you can focus and work on that directly. You come out of college, you have all these open doors. Whereas if you're 18 and you decide not to go to college because you want to prioritize marriage, that can go wrong in so many other ways where you have no backup plan. Now you're 25 making minimum wage, so much farther behind towards a marriage than the woman who already graduated college, who has financial stability to be able to have kids and provide for her kids. So that's where like
that's a fair point. You could always go back to college. I'll reiterate that. However, that's not the problem in America. The problem right now, as it is, because the problem you're talking about was the problem in the 1960s, which is what Gloria Steinem said. If my husband left, I would have no way to feed myself. That was the core essence of her critique. Like if my husband left, I would be having to go to get food stamps because I have no skills except being a stay-at-home mom. Which, by the way, is like the most important thing ever, being a stay-at-home mom. But that's a separate issue. So, but right now in America, we've gone to the other extreme, which is you can delay it, you can have kids whenever you want, and we have 15 to 20 million single women in the country that have great careers.
And I feel like another reason why women right now it's so hard for them to just prioritize having kids is because if you haven't gone to college, got the education, you don't have a husband who also is very financially stable. Who's gonna provide for those kids? We're in times where it's so.
I don't sympathize with that argument as much. First of all, you get married by definition, your costs go down because you have 2 people in paying for rent, right, or for a mortgage, so you can actually consolidate income. But studies actually show men earn more as soon as they get married and have children. Something primal kicks into us. We take a second job, we work extra hours.
I mean, is that primal? I mean, yeah, primal like survival, my nigga. If you're gonna be fucked, unless you work 2 or 3 jobs, you're gonna work 2 or 3 jobs, bro. It's not like because how do you know that? How do you know that someone had like a child? Well, he said once you get married and have kids, but I would just depending on the type of person you are. If you have kids, you're most likely gonna want to be like, okay, I gotta get my shit together, bro. I got a kid on the way. I can't be hanging with the wrong people. I can't be doing as many drugs as I was doing before. I gotta cut back on the smoking and drinking. Like your whole life has to like kind of change around. So it's like it's not really super surprising that you will be able to see that. Or that
figured out. Men are actually it's not super simple, women are very complicated. Men, as long as we feel appreciated, we feel noticed, and we feel special, and we see our role and our purpose, we will go to the ends of the earth to feed our family. We'll figure it out. And I think we're underselling American men. We say, I wait until I'm 27, 28. That's fine, but look at the cost of that. And the cost is, right now, just as we're clear, we are on pace 10 years out from now, we're going to have 20 million 40-something women that never got married or have kids, but they have big apartments, they go on lots of vacations. And I also think that's one of the reasons we're seeing the suicide rate, the anxiety problems, the depression problems in our country. Do you have a thought? Or?
Yeah, I just feel like how many people that are like, or how many males that are 20 are like ready to get married and like ready to have a family?
So the question is, which one leads which? Men, yes, but in the 1950s or 1960s, the time we're supposed to hate, young ladies looked at it as my task to find a husband before the age of 25. And it was like the most important thing for them. Now that came with a lot of cost. Some people would say that it was handcuffs and being in prison. But if young ladies, first and foremost, no offense to my 2 Australian friends, got off of OnlyFans and stopped posting naked pictures of themselves online and made themselves harder to get, men would step up to the plate. One of the reasons why men are grown infants is because women are so easy to get right now in America. There's no desire, there's no hunt, there's no search. So you can be a grown infant, you can get sex. When it used to be in the 1950s, women would be like, I'm not giving myself over to you. You're a man child. Like you don't even pay rent. You have nothing going for you. When now, unfortunately, you can pay $10 a month to go see a woman naked. No offense, well, actually kind of offensive, but
aren't you guys like $5?
But
yeah, I think
sorry. But I'm saying that. Okay. But to my OnlyFans friends here, do you think that you both want to get married right and have children?
Yeah, of course.
Do you think that you are more desirable or less desirable to a future husband when you post suggested or naked pictures online?
I think that we're entitled just as much as other.
No, you're totally entitled. You're free to do it. I'm asking a different question. Are you more desirable or less desirable for a man?
It's really been the same for me. Like I've always received love the same way, and that's pretty shit. Like I don't really receive it. They all look at me the same from the beginning.
How do you know how men look at you?
Because when I talk to them, I usually feel head over heels for them, and they all view me the same way. So whether or not I'm doing OnlyFans and selling my body, or not doing OnlyFans and selling my body, I'm still looked at the same way. They still think that of me.
Yeah, you don't know male mind very well.
But they've already told me themselves.
And men are really good liars. Do you know that?
True.
Jesus.
I don't know. I just take their word.
Every guy that did say that to you is obviously fucking lying. Do you understand that there are dudes who make OnlyFans with their woman? And they stay with that woman for years making OnlyFans? How do you classify them? Oh, they're the exception. Okay, that's fine. But she's telling you that this is her experience, and you're saying, nope, they're lying. And it's just like, okay, so those guys that make OnlyFans content with the women they're with, they're lying too. They're also lying, is what you're saying. Yeah, I don't buy that shit at all, but okay.
For it.
You just said they're good liars.
Well, I don't know.
I'd say a lot of the guys that I know, more I guess the higher value type guys,
And
they
actually-
don't take OnlyFans girls seriously.
No,
Yeah, but some people actually do want OnlyFans women and want to marry OnlyFans women and have kids with OnlyFans women.
Erroneous!
But very few.
Erroneous!
Well, hold on. Do you think those men are virtuous, high-quality men that won't cheat on you?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
It doesn't sound like it, but it's actually really normalized in my area. Like
No, the fact that it's normalized is not the point. The point is it good? Is it right to post suggestive pictures of yourself online, number one? And does it get closer to your goal of being married for the rest of your life with a soulmate that you love?
I feel like, obviously, like, I want to get married.
Depending on, like how she said, depending on where it is, if you have a dating pool of men that genuinely don't give a fuck, then it looks like it doesn't affect her then, right? Right?
And obviously, like, I feel like if I was with a guy and he didn't accept my past, I wouldn't want to be with him.
Not your past, if you're still doing it.
If he
Like,
didn't accept it, then...
So let me ask you a hypothetical. If you met a man and he says, I'm earning $2 million a year, would you quit OnlyFans?
Okay, like that, yes. If they can make as much as I can, then yes,
So you would
quit.
put OnlyFans?
But if they're going to say, like, stop doing it, but they're not doing anything with their life, then no,
Okay,
stop.
so it's just purely financial for you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Would you agree it's just purely financial for you?
literally, yeah.
Okay, do you think that you have more to offer the world than your body?
Of course.
Yeah.
Then why don't you do that?
Because I chose not to?
Yeah.
But I know, but don't you
I
think
mean, we
you're...
have more to offer, but we also want to be able to travel and explore.
Okay,
You
no,
know,
now we're getting somewhere. So you want a fun life.
Yeah, a free life. We
Okay.
can travel, like, live our life, like, young.
Everything in life comes with a cost.
Of course.
And the cost for you is that your body will now be shared by tens of thousands of
Yeah.
people, not just your soulmate.
Yeah.
But don't you feel a little bit of sadness that you wish that your body would just be sold with your future, shared with your future
I
soulmate?
did have that mindset, and then like I feel like men actually changed me and turned me into this person. And
Who did? A men?
No, like
Oh.
men in general. Like they just turned me into this person. I didn't plan my life going this way. It was literally a 1 minute decision. And I thought I might as well. They all view me the same, so I'll just throw my life in and do it.
Well-
But I feel like if a man wants to be with me and love me for who I am, then so be it. But if they're going to judge me for what my work is and what I do, then I'm not going to let them in my life.
Right, so the judging is a separate issue. Do you think the type of man you want, I imagine, is one that tells the truth and that is loyal to you?
Yeah.
That pool of men that you eventually want to have a family with,
Yeah.
do you think they will look fondly upon OnlyFans girls?
I don't know. Like,
Yeah,
I don't know.
I can tell you as a man that we look so lowly on OnlyFans girls, it's the equivalent to digital prostitution.
Yeah.
I don't know if I look at them lonely. I just look at them lowly. I just look at them like porn. When I'm watching porn, I'm not like getting off the. I don't like bust my nut and be like, oh man, you know, Cherokee Diaz. What a sad sight to see, bro. I don't have these thoughts, bro. I finish, I nut, and I move on with my life. I'm not harboring judgment for women who do sex. I don't care, bro. I don't give a fuck. Why do you care?
That's your opinion.
No, it's not. It's the average Western male.
I don't know if it's
Wait,
like...
what is his opinion?
I mean, it's not an opinion. It's factual that the average Western male looks at OnlyFans no different than an escort service delivered digitally.
Well, isn't it just objectively
And I'm
true?
not trying to attack either of you. I think you're both victims caught up in this terrible trend.
And not only that, how many women are actually doing OnlyFans, bro? Let's say you got, I don't know, what's the population in the United States? Like 330 million, 340 million? Let's just say half of that are women. 165 million women. And there's going to be some girls and teenage girls in there, so let's reduce that number again by like 25%. So now we're at about 120 million. Of these 18 or older, 120 million women, let's say you told me, Marcus, there's actually 2 million women out there on OnlyFans right now. That would mean 1/60th. 1 in every 60 women has OnlyFans. Which means for all the guys out there that don't want that, you have 59 other women to choose from. This is not. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck.
Just
I
want
don't.
to ask you, have you thought deeply about how this might get you further from your goal, not closer to your goal?
Yeah. Like, I have definitely thought about that. But when, like, I first started it, I was like, these comes with like consequences though. So, like, I obviously thought about it and was like, but I'm going to do this, and obviously it's going to be harder to find a guy to marry, but I'm taking that risk.
Yeah, I've always thought about just taking a risk, and I've always been like a risk taker. I don't really care about what anyone else thinks. Like that's up to you and what you think. But if I think that I can get somewhere by it, then I'm going to do it.
Do you both want children?
Yeah.
Well, I do, but I don't know if I can.
You mean physically? Or
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So if you were to have children and you were to go to your first grader's career day, and you were to present to a bunch of first graders, how would you describe what you do to a bunch of first graders?
Well, I don't think that I'll still be doing OnlyFans when I do have kids. I feel like that's something I'll stop.
Why would you? There are multiple jobs that you probably wouldn't describe. Like, how would you describe a cremate if you work if you cremate people or something like that? Or, yeah, I don't know. Is that the only job we can think of to where we wouldn't tell? Well, let's say you're someone who works as for low income or areas with bad crime or homeless people, and you're helping those people out. And today at work I had to inject somebody with a syringe so their heart could start working because they OD'd on some fentanyl. I saw a couple people die and they were bleeding out and their guts were spilling out on the ground earlier. It was a sad sight to see. There are plenty of jobs that aren't just only I don't understand what this point is, because we wouldn't talk to it about kids. Talk to it with kids, then it must be bad. So all jobs that you wouldn't talk to kids about are bad. All of them.
before I did have kids, just so like it's not like obviously like the internet is always going to be there. But
The internet is forever.
Yeah, but I feel like it's something that I would stop before I did have children, kind of thing.
Can I ask approximately? I have no idea. How much money do you earn annually? Is that okay to ask? I'm just curious.
So in the last 6 months, I've earned over $115,000.
US dollars or
US.
AUS? So what is that conversion rate? Like 80%?
So like yeah, so it was
You can buy
like
like a croissant or something with
Yeah,
that.
exactly. I think it's 80,000 American, right? About?
yeah.
Is that correct?
Yeah, I think so.
So she made $80,000 in 6 months, which would come out to $160,000 in a year. And you're telling her, no, you should. First, and the thing is going to be this, because a lot of them already agreed that it's monetary. Like, if they say, hey, would you stop doing OnlyFans if you met a millionaire husband? They're like, yeah. So, the idea of, like, I understand that people talk about this social decay in our women today. And they're doing that. If every man was making 6 figures, I guarantee you the amount of OnlyFans creators would drop dramatically. That would be my response. If there were way more men making way more money, and these women would probably end up with these guys and not even consider doing OnlyFans because they're well taken care of. They don't have I need an easy, not even an easy, because some of them don't even make money at all. I need an additional route to make some money on the side, and some of them blow up. That.
Yes, I don't know. Okay,
In 6 months?
Yes.
So you're projected to have like over 180,000 by next year? 160?
Yeah.
Do you have more on that?
No, I just want to make sure everybody watching and you guys all think deeply about that and how men view not just OnlyFans culture, but you all said marriage, and some of you said marriage and kids is the most important thing, but far too often our actions and what we do every day is actually not getting us closer to our stated goal.
Well, you can say that to the subscribers too. Subscribe to their,
I think that
contribute to their pockets, but that's what I mean.
they
Like,
should be
how can we find husbands in our 20s, in our early 20s? I'm not in my early 20s, but how can we find husbands if they're busy subscribing to OnlyFans chicks?
Yeah, well, not every man is, and that's a really good question. So where did all the good men go? I'll talk about this in my book, actually. First piece of advice I have for young ladies is do not...
Not every man is, but like the idea of not every woman is being an OnlyFans creator. Just fuck that. We're not even gonna address that, right? Because that's okay.
Post suggestive material yourself online. Men want what they cannot see and cannot have. Mystery is lacking in the West. And I know this is lost on a lot of young ladies. They say, the more I post of myself, with a bikini on the beach, the more men will like it. No, I mean, the more they'll want to have sex with you, but then they'll look at you as just a visual or commodity, not as a future soulmate. The second part is, to be perfectly honest with you, religious men check a lot of the boxes that you guys are looking for. I know that. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, that's why I feel like that's one reason why I was able to find men like that. It's because even though they weren't conservative, they still had very, very deep religious values.
Can you tell me more? That's so interesting.
Mainly Catholic. I'm also Catholic.
Yeah. So, and they believed in God, right? They wanted to have a family.
Yeah, they didn't necessarily like read the Bible word for word
Of
every
course.
day, but they like followed the Bible.
So would you say that's, if you're looking to find a man in the West and it's your number one priority, and you were given a random selection of a Catholic man or kind of a femboy atheist, you would take the Catholic?
Yeah, I would.
Would you?
Catholic, yes. I think I'm more atheist.
So how many of you are then going to church actively trying to find a man?
I don't need to.
I also,
Well, I know, but-
I didn't meet any of my boyfriends
Okay,
in
fair
church,
enough.
and I feel like I wouldn't have, if I'm gonna be honest. I feel like you can meet a really religious man outside of
Fair
church.
enough, yeah.
You just have to find where you guys both coincide, and like at the library, studying for your exams, for example.
I actually recommend to my single friends to find men in the church because
I agree.
usually stand-up guys, typically.
Yeah, I mean, there's exceptions to every rule. And so my advice to my 2 Australian friends is that if you want the thing that is the most important thing to you, start making those decisions younger than older, because you might end up...
The thing that I don't like is that religion provides you like rails, like guardrails on the. Let's say you're driving down the road, and religion puts guardrails on your life, or like this might be a bit fucked to say. A lot of times, religion feels like training wheels on a bicycle. You could keep your training wheels on a bicycle forever, but it's not, and you can still ride your bike and be fine and get to where you're going. But you can also get to where you're going without the training wheels. But I will say, if you don't have the training wheels, you will fall more often until you get used to it. I feel like you can be a good person with a good head on your shoulders that respects women, respects men, knows what they want out of life, is a decent person, and contributes to your community without being religious. These values can exist beyond religion. I just never agreed that religion was absolutely necessary.
Well put, Charlie. Well put. Let me read 2 of these chats that we have. Kind of Hugo. Here we go. Thank you, Hugo. Appreciate it. Yeah, I'll get it. And then he sent in this other one here. So, yeah, Hugo Brian Reed. I know your faith, service, and perseverance, but you tolerate that fake prophet Jezebel, who leads my servants into sex, immorality, and idol worship. She refuses to repent, so I will cast her into suffering and make her followers suffer unless they repent. Rev 2, 1922. And then in this one, they said it was 1921. So, thank you. Appreciate it. Could be a different one. Yeah, these are the same. But Hugo, thank you, man. Really appreciate your chat, guys. If you want to get in some couple chats. So I do want to get into our next topic here, and that topic is, we've asked this on the show a couple times. Went viral. This conversation, not from the show, went viral. I think it'd be good to do it while we have Charlie here. Question is,
okay,
would you rather be stuck in the woods with a random man or a random bear? Starting with you. Go ahead.
This question is so stupid. I hate this question.
I How random.
Totally random. So the U.S. male population is like over 150 million, so just a random man.
I've heard really good arguments for both.
Well, what's I guess kind of your
What
knee-jerk
resonates for
gut
me?
choice here?
How long am I stuck?
I think you're overthinking the question a little bit. But, so it's just random man or random bear.
Oh,
So
okay.
You get randomly plopped in the forest.
Sure.
The man gets randomly plopped in the forest. You are going to cross paths. The choice is between crossing paths with a random man or a random bear.
Random man.
Okay.
So I'm gonna preface this. I was on the show like a month ago,
Yep.
and we had that question, and I did answer bear. And I'm just gonna say I'm gonna change my answer for the sake of I don't feel like arguing for
Wait,
the
no,
bear.
no, you can't change your answer for the sake of not wanting to argue it.
Because
Answer
the reason why I chose the bear last time was for the sake of the argument. If I'm gonna be so honest, like if a random man, the chances of it being like all those points I made, the violent, the essay, all that, the chances of that are pretty low compared to the chances of the bear seeing me running after me. So I don't feel like arguing for the sake of the bear. We're gonna choose the man today.
So to be clear, your answer is the bear, but you just don't want to argue it because Charlie's here.
No. I said I chose the bear on the show last time because
Okay.
I, for the sake of the argument, I had so many reasons to argue for the bear. Whereas, like right now, I'm like, why would I even do that? Like the chances of it being a violent man and all those things that I had already mentioned, which
So I convinced you through my argumentation.
No, the thing is, I already knew that from the start. Like if you told me, if you phrased the answer, like if you phrased the question like this, one of my male friends, or a male I knew, or a male that I've even
That's not
that
the
is in
question,
IV that I know, like
Not the question,
atmosphere
though.
here.
Not the question, though.
I know.
It's
But
just a random- it's
I'm being
a
so real
random
today.
Are you?
Yeah, that's good. So I'm gonna choose
So
the man
you're
today.
saying I choose the man if you frame the question like
No,
this.
I'm saying like that just adds to it. But I'm choosing a man either way today.
Okay.
Man.
By the way, don't let people's previous if somebody else says man and you think bear, don't let them pressure you into answering otherwise. Go ahead.
Of course, man, but I'm curious what your reasons for bear were. I guess I'll go watch that.
Yeah, we can get
It was
into
a whole
that.
segment.
Go ahead.
I will.
Man or bear?
Yeah, I don't understand why I would do as a bear, so.
Wait, okay, hold on. Okay. Let me just explain the scenario here. So, there's a button on the table. We press it. Boom. Instantly, you're transported into a forest. So is a random man, and so is a random bear. You guys are going to cross paths within 5 minutes, let's say.
Okay, man.
Okay.
I would say bear.
There we go. Okay, we got a bear. All right.
Man.
Man?
Man.
Man.
You would rather. And so we'll get into the reasons why. I think when we asked men this question, I'll frame it differently for you, Charlie. Would you rather your daughter be alone in the woods with a random man, totally random man, or a random bear?
Probably man. I know how vicious bears can be. And, you might get a man who'd be terrible.
So you say bear. Come on. You were bear last time. We'll just. Okay, anyways, why do you say bear? Over man.
I just think like the chance of you potentially getting stuck with a man that could, like yeah, you can get mauled by a bear, but like a man can like keep you in captivity and like.
They could torture you.
Yeah,
But
but
they
then
can also help you out of the
yes,
woods.
but
Help you survive.
yeah, but I feel like I could probably do it myself too.
Fair enough. So you said that there's a chance that the men could do X, right? So they could whatever. What percentage of men do you think in this scenario would opt to do like victimize you in some sort of way?
I mean, I would say maybe high, just because like even if I'm walking on the street, I'm like getting harassed. So like.
Okay, and that's wrong. But so when you say high, can you like give us a percentage? 50%, 60%?
I want to say 50, but.
So okay, so 50. So in the scenario, you think 50% of men would choose to attack you or do something untoward in this situation?
I mean, you never know. I just think like like a bear, you can approach the situation more calmly and you can walk away.
What if I told you bears run faster than humans? Does that change anything?
No, because I think if you.
So you think 50% of men are inclined to victimize you in some sort of way?
I just would rather not be in the forest with a man. I'd rather be alone with a bear.
Well, yeah, that's the question. So there's like, how many men are in here? We've got 2, 4, is it 6? We got, so half of us, 3 of us, in this situation would like try to do something gnarly, you think? Or
I mean.
Like that's 50%, right? Is that?
But like if it's like the whole population, there's probably a good amount of men that would want to try to do something that's not helping you get out of the forest.
And is that percent of the population, is that 50%? I think that's the number you used.
I mean, potentially.
Okay.
What if a man has to be afraid of us?
Do you think it's, you go to UC Riverside, right? Do you think it would be 50% of the men at UC Riverside would do this?
I mean, if anything, I think.
Higher?
No, definitely.
Lower at UC Riverside, okay.
Yeah, but I don't think if I was stuck
What's the population of the United? Sorry, go ahead.
If I was stuck in the forest with a man from UCR, like I don't think they're gonna help me. So. Yeah, like I don't think they're gonna.
The reason why this is a stupid question, in my opinion, is because one, in a way, it is a bit dehumanizing. It is a little bit. It is like there's no way you can like get around that. If you want to say men are more of an animal, well, not all men, but whatever number it is, you're saying you take the chances with the bear. That if the bear saw you, that bear is not, especially if it's just y'all two in the forest, that bear is probably not leaving you alone. So it's just like you're saying, I'm going to take like a minimum 80 to 90% chance of death compared to like, I'll just take her number, a 50-50 chance of getting either help or murdered and raped or neutral, and he just leaves you alone. Like, just off of survival chances alone, you should pick the man. Just like, regardless of political or philosophical or socialization that happened, like, just off of a raw numbers thing, there is no help with the bear. A bear can't help you build a shelter, can't help build a fire, it can't, while I set up the tent, you go ahead and get the food, so we can do 2 things at once. Like, there is none of that. It's just, no, this nigga gonna fucking kill you. But I guess you just don't know what the type of men. I guess that's the mystery of it, makes it scary. Because you know how a bear is gonna act. So because you know how, I bet you can navigate it much easier, but you have no idea how a human man is going to act. So I can.
Okay, so what's the population of the United States? 320 million or something? Anybody know?
It's 350, I think.
350. Okay, so then how many is that? That's 170 million then? About 175. So let's say half of 170 is 85. Do I have that? Yep. I'm sorry, it's been minutes since I took algebra. Right? 75 million. Or wait, what did I say? 70?
It's like 125.
75 million? 100. Wait, so half of that is.
I'm sorry.
85 million?
87.5.
85. Let's just say. Okay. So are you prepared to state that 85 million men in the United States would choose or opt to victimize women in this scenario?
Hopefully not.
Well, what you hope is kind of irrelevant here. I'm just trying to get clarification on if you think the number is actually that high, that you think half of men would.
I just think
do
it's a
this.
50-50 chance that the person that you're stuck with is that
Right, so
they will either
50.
help you or help you not. Like they won't help you.
Well, okay, that's. Well,
Like
you think it's
depending-
50-50 chance that they
on
would
the
help you or
person.
not help you?
Yeah, depending on the person, there's a 50-50 chance that they will help you or not. Not saying
Well,
50%.
but you
of
said
men.
your fear is about being attacked. So how does helping you play into
Or
this?
like there's a 50-50 chance of them either attacking me or wanting to like help me get out of the forest.
So 50% of men would choose to attack you.
No, I'm saying like
It's a 50-50
it would be an
means 50%.
individual percentage. Like I don't know how to explain.
You mean like on the basis of choice? Like a man will either hurt you or help you?
Yeah.
No, I think it's either he'll help you or not help you. And then within not help you, maybe he'll attack you. But but that percentage goes very low. So
I mean, I feel like I've been camping enough, so I feel like I'd rather just be with a bear.
So have you ever seen a bear in person?
I mean, no, but
My friend discussed this one time, and she chose bear. She genuinely thought that like big bears were like Winnie the Pooh size, and like adult bears were like German Shepherd size. So she
Wait, Nick,
was
do we have
all
that
day
meme?
long.
The seed or
They're
whatever?
huge.
yeah.
Ambitious.
Yes.
Nick, can you pull this up? This is kind of related.
Yeah, I thought bears could be like 10 feet
Brown bear, 9 feet
tall.
tall, 1,300 pounds, claws up to 4 inches,
9
force,
feet
11
tall.
high, speed up to 35 Kyle, 5'10", 174 pounds project engineer said hi to you at the gym. So this is kind of like, this is my views on it. It's just, I don't know, it's pretty interesting. So, I mean, Charlie, so we've asked this question a bunch of times on the show. A lot of women say bear. This panel, we only have the one here. What are your thoughts on this sort of, the women picking the bear?
Well, I'm curious, have you been victimized by men?
Like randomly, yeah.
I'm sorry.
Like catcalling is, I think that's what you were alluding to before, right?
Yeah,
Like
just-
guys harassing you on the street.
No, I'm curious how many people give those answers have had repeated negative interactions with random men. There's definitely color there.
Daily.
But, daily.
That probably is the case. If women could go across without having to worry about a man's anger issues, him hitting her, him trying to control her and what she's doing, trying to dominate her and all of that, wasn't catcalling her, actually talked to them with respect, actually said, gave her actual decent compliment, actually handled rejection well. She said, hey, I'm not interested, and being like, all right, well, fuck you anyway, bitch. I didn't think you were cute anyway. Like, instead of, if men didn't do all of that shit, then yeah, most women would probably say, we'll give the answers here. Most women will say they would be in the force with the men. But there's a whole lot of critique on the women's aspect, but we're not doing enough of how many men contributed to these types of answers that women give. We don't even... I wonder how often this show is critical of men, just in general.
Yeah. But no, I mean, in America, a lot of people would think that men are out to hurt you, and they're not totally wrong sometimes. But I mean, percentage-wise, you're much more likely to have a bear rip you apart than have a man rip you apart. So.
What are the stats on? Like, it's 1 in 3, 1 in 4 women report that they've been sexually assaulted. It's a lot, right?
Way inflated. That's it's there's a lot of rapes and sexual assaults, but that's.
What are the stats on? I hung out with a bear and lived to tell 0.
I've seen a grizzly bear up close and personal, and I've lived. Yeah.
Only then.
That is not fun. You don't want to see a grizzly bear. That is not fun.
Scary.
Oh yeah, they're huge. I mean, and I'm a tall guy, and you look at them.
You're tall,
Yeah,
you're 6'4"?
Yeah, 6'4", 6'5", and they get up and you look up at them, and grizzlies are worse. Now you didn't specify what type of bear though.
Yeah,
You see,
koala.
Must be reasonable.
well, koala. But if it's a black bear, they will not hurt you. But if it's a grizzly bear or a polar bear will hunt you.
I thought brown bears safe.
Find the
Yes,
black
brown is safe. Well, brown is a mixture of black and grizzly. But
so
black is safe. Brown, it depends how you define it. It's not a real term. Grizzly is a round face and they'll hunt you down. But polar is the worst. Polar is the only animal that actively hunts humans.
Yeah, see, if Brian would have specified polar bear that first round on that
See?
last episode,
There
I
you
would
go.
never chosen
Polar bear, as soon as they smell your scent within like a 50-mile radius, they're hunting you. So if you pull a tag to hunt the polar bear, it's a two-way hunt.
Yeah, I think everyone is under the assumption it was the other bear.
Yeah, but the grizzly bear will leave you alone as long as you don't like overly provoke them. But a grizzly does kill humans. Very rarely does a black bear kill
We actually
humans.
had, I think a month ago, within
I've done a lot of bear hunting, so.
within the past month, here in California, first ever black bear fatality. A woman.
Is that right? No,
a
it's
woman,
extremely rare.
It is rare. A woman was killed by black bear up in, where
She
was
must
it?
have been a real. She must have done something weird.
She tried to poke a bear. I don't know.
Or yeah, that's,
So if you get 22 when you're bear hunting, make sure to like
22
stand off
is
the end because then it'll hurt less when the bear shoves up your. Because
22 will not slow down a bear.
you'll just
Yeah.
anger it. Like,
Oh,
do
yeah.
nothing, right?
No, bear spray is actually more effective than 99% of firearms in stopping a bear. It's a good little side note if you're backcountry hiking, because most guns will just piss off the bear.
What is bear spray? Within bear spray?
I don't know. It's like pepper spray, but it's so irritating to the bear, it flees the area. Yeah, it goes right up their nasal cavity and they get out of there. I mean, again, the goal is not to kill the bear, it's to get them out of the way. So you do not want to mess with the mama bear either. That's the fun.
Now, I did want to get back into some perhaps dating related.
David, that's what he's talking about.
There you go. Some dating related topics. So, actually, I don't know if we went around. Would you guys date didn't you guys ask this? Would you guys date a conservative guy?
You didn't ask that.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay.
If he wasn't hardcore.
Hardcore.
Hardcore?
So no
Hardcore
MAGA hat?
conservative.
Yeah, like I can't have my hat. That's
No,
not
MAGA
my
hat.
So
what if he's like a conservative from like a different nation?
Like Germany.
Yeah, wait, no.
See? Got her.
No, not part of ISIS. Like if there's like a country where conservatives are
Anti-German
like,
bias.
not hardcore, not Trumpy, just regular guys.
UK, would that be a good? They're kind of less conservatives in the
Yeah,
UK.
they're like Democrats.
Yeah.
I'm curious.
so I would date a UK.
I'm not here to debate. I'm curious. When you hear like MAGA, Trumpy, what is like? Give me a word association. What do you think?
Someone who wouldn't like me. I like for one, like it's not even just that. Like they would.
Fair.
Huh?
I didn't say anything.
What?
Is it the hair? Like, is that what they would not like about you?
Yeah, this hair tends to have a very different type of man than the
Like,
Trumpy.
it's like the bangs.
Yeah, Trumpies don't like the bangs.
They don't like the bangs.
But that's good because I don't like Trumpies. I don't want them approaching me either way.
Trumpies. Okay.
Yeah.
What about Trumpies don't you like?
Oh my god, do you want a list of things?
I'm curious. I don't need this.
Well,
sort
if
of-
I'm gonna get really specific,
Yes,
the type of Trumpies that I grew up with, because I'm from Woodland, California, so those are like
Okay.
redneck.
Yeah,
Trumpies.
Redding, California.
Like,
Sure.
no, like
Even north of that?
Yeah, like north Sacramento is.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, right next to Sac, and then right in between Davis, so it's like Cowtown, like Farmers
Okay,
Land.
so that's a Trumpy world.
Yeah, like yeah, I can't do redneck.
But I think you were going to list kind of some of the reasons why.
Well, I
You're
don't.
gonna date a Trumpy.
Yeah, because that's the type of man I'm envisioning. A racist redneck who drives his little tractor around town and raises goats for his free time.
Sounds like a good time. I mean, the tractor.
I mean,
not racist.
yeah. Well, I'm also Hispanic and I speak Spanish, so it's like, yeah, these men wouldn't deal with that.
Aren't there like Latinos for Trump?
Oh, they're huge
There's a lot of
coalitions.
conservatives that are like
Coalitions.
Latinos.
Tons,
but-
yeah.
What about are there like immigrants for Trump, or is that?
Well, there's all sorts of coalitions.
That would be something, but no, I'm not. I wouldn't date an immigrant for Trump either.
Okay.
No.
So that's like a no-go. MAGA
Yeah,
hat.
yeah.
Okay. What about you?
Every man I've loved has been conservative.
Yes.
You date a conservative guy?
I haven't dated, but I've dealt with one.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, didn't you say that part of the reasons your relationship broke up, I think if I recall, you said he was a bit more on the conservative side. Your ex-boyfriend of 3 years.
I wouldn't say he was like conservative.
Maybe not like
You said it's
politically.
Islamic, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was religious.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Muslim.
Okay. What about you?
Yeah.
Word.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
And I married one.
There you go.
I don't date men.
Okay. All right. I want to ask this question: would you date a young Donald Trump?
Like literally young Donald Trump
Yeah,
when he was young?
yeah, when he was
Hell
young.
yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. There you go. Would you date young
Around
Donald
that.
Trump?
Fuck no.
Okay. All right. What about you? Of
course.
Or would you date Donald Trump now?
Well, he's married, so that would be rough, and I like Melania, so I couldn't do that to her. But yeah, in the 90s, I have friends who used to date him in the 90s. Two of my friends.
Oh.
And apparently he was a great guy, super fun, super smart. I mean, you know, Manhattan, everyone above a certain floor
Right, 'cause
is a Trump
you're-
fan.
yeah.
Everyone below a certain floor hates him. It's kind of vertical in Manhattan.
Interesting. Okay. Would you date young Donald Trump? DT?
No.
No. Not your type.
I don't even know much about Donald Trump. I don't.
Must be nice living in Australia. away
Yeah, no,
from-
actually, no. I've only seen like
Okay.
memes of him. That's
Sure.
it.
Would you date young Donald Trump?
I don't even know what he looked like when he was young.
He was very dashing.
Nick, pull up his mugshot, please.
I don't know much about him, so I can't really have an opinion.
No, I think he's a little bit too.
I think he uses as much fake tan as you guys.
Oh my god.
It's
It's a natural tan.
Oh, so it's natural?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It is the Gold Coast.
Yeah, my bad. Wait,
Oh my God, that's
would you,
not-
okay, well, they photoshopped this. They photoshopped
This is
this.
recent. This is not young Donald Trump.
They photoshopped this. They put red in his eyes. That's definitely, anyways, handsome guy, right?
Like, I wouldn't date him if he was younger than me.
Okay, all right.
I'm curious. So the election was today. Would you vote for Trump?
Yeah.
Wait, are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
Oh, I thought didn't you say you're from Russia?
Yeah, I came here when I was 3. It was like,
Kazakhstan's the best.
Uzbek.
And I think I know your answer. F no.
I was just gonna say no.
Okay. And then
I'm still on the fence. My family knows I'm very, very divided.
I feel you.
Just don't know.
and then Australia. So
Yeah.
not applicable. Who are you gonna vote for in the presidential election?
I don't vote.
Okay. No idea.
Trump.
I think I know your answer.
like, you know my answer.
This is a Trump heavy panel.
Why don't you vote?
We could do young Donald.
There he is.
Still kind of old, not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Just
Oh, was that successful, Donald? Though, yeah.
This is
That's before you really started.
Look, he's got some eyebrows. Yeah, it's not body shame, okay? All right.
Trousers on.
Yeah, there's a bit, I think perhaps some of them are a bit frightening.
Some might just say
Because they reveal
trousers.
Their super progressive and liberal positions
I'm
here.
not a bear.
He's not a bear. Not a bear. I'm going to read. Actually, I'll wait a little bit on the chat. I did want to come back to the feminist conversation. Would you date a guy who's not a feminist?
In what way?
Like he's just not
Describe it.
feminist.
Like, what does he not? Does he want me to not vote?
He's fine with women voting. Let's just say that, but he's not a feminist.
I don't know. I think that question has to be elaborated a little bit more. It's pretty generalized. It's hard for me to say.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. That's a stupid fucking question. Yes.
I'll move on. What about you?
Well, is he anti-feminist or is he just like, oh, I don't hold political views type of guy?
He is anti-feminist.
Oh, no.
No. Would you date an anti-feminist guy?
Anti-feminist. That's a
Actually,
bit.
you were gone when we asked this. Would you date Donald Trump?
No.
Young Donald Trump? Young Donald Trump. Okay.
So many.
Oh, extremely bad.
Would you date an anti-feminist?
It would, if he's hateful and hates women, I don't want to hear it, so probably not.
Okay. Well, so you can be not a feminist, but also like women.
Okay. Then sure.
But you
One
can't,
of these
you
angry
can't be
minds.
anti-feminist and like women, really.
No, you can.
To that degree. I mean, because anti-feminist men are saying that women shouldn't vote, that they should stay
No,
in
not
the house.
necessarily. Not necessarily. So feminism is an ideology. It has nothing to do.
Yeah.
Like you
but
could
people
love
who
women.
label themselves as an anti-feminist man.
You're saying
let's
they
say-
tend to-
Yes, they tend to be those type of guys.
It's not
We're going
clear
under
that's
generalization, you know.
Then let me ask this question: do women who label themselves as feminists, do they hate men?
No.
Okay.
Are there feminists who hate men? For sure. Very
Sure.
much.
Yeah. And there's
But-
anti-feminists who hate women.
Yeah, and
Right?
there's feminists who hate women. It's a weird
There's
world.
anti-feminist women who also don't have any hate for women either.
Yeah, it's a weird world.
Yeah, but you can be a woman and be anti-feminist.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not clear to me. So what? I mean, if you had to assign a percentage, what percentage of anti-feminists do you think also hate women?
Over half. That's why I would
More than
just
half?
yeah. That's why I would just choose no for
Pretty
that man.
big, pretty big number. Not sure. I don't know if they've done a study on this, but I can't imagine that that's actually accurate. Where we're going around the table. Would you date an anti-feminist?
No.
No. Okay.
Probably not.
No.
Yeah, sure. Take back the right vote. I don't care. We heard it.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Okay.
You would.
Screaming.
Yeah. Well, there you have it, folks.
I'm gonna
wait,
cut it.
Hold on. First
Wait,
off,
I have a quick
This
question.
is
Can I do
starting to
that?
get
Okay, so
dry.
you say take back the right to vote. Okay, cool. Let's say they do that and they promise you everything traditional, right? But then they say, by the way, because of the way that we've been living under the way things are right now, we're under the whole population thing where there's not enough workforce, which is already what they're saying, right? So what if they implement a new law where they say women have to have 4 kids, 5 kids, 6 kids even, and they write that into law? You can't vote on it. Are you okay with it?
Oh yeah, I want like 12. Like I'm a huge fan.
And you are okay with all your daughters being forced to have 6 kids and their daughters being forced to have 6 kids? Yeah, like you understand that it's not just you being affected; it's everyone around
wait,
you.
you object to people being forced into something?
Yeah, I object to people being forced to
Well,
have 6 kids.
what
Like,
about
can
the
you-
draft?
I'm against the force.
Yeah, but okay, the current status quo is men are forced into registering for the selective service.
Because we already agreed that there has to be a draft.
By the way, the scenario that you outlined I can't imagine I don't even think
I would hope it would never happen,
I don't even think historically there's ever been a law that compelled women to have children.
Yeah.
Now, could have been socially and culturally.
They don't even have it in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, they don't even have that in like.
It was just an example. I just wanted to see where her mind was at. She answered it truthfully, and that's that. It's not an argument. It's just I wanted to see where she stood with that. Like she's 100% okay.
I have a question. What if we lived in a world that forced men onto the battlefield and they had to die and go into trenches and get trench foot and get chemical gas? What if we? Oh, you mean the current world? Oh, okay.
What if we live in a world where men created that themselves? Oh wait, we do.
Well, actually, here let me just rebut what you're saying. So they actually did an analysis of monarchs and they actually found that queens were much more likely to wage war than kings.
Yeah, queens were also a lot more likely to have successful empires. So that's one thing.
Okay, but that doesn't really.
It does, because why did they have?
You're saying, but it's men's fault. If I point out something.
Men, no, I said that thing, the war thing. I didn't say everything is men's fault, did I? I said the war thing.
Right,
Who
that's
created
what I'm
that?
talking about.
Men.
Who created
war?
It's not clear to me if men created war.
So are you arguing that women are actually outside of war?
Is that your argument, Brian? Let's assume that there were no men. And it was just societies of women. They could, what is asexual reproduction? I don't know what the term's called. You don't think like differing tribes of women, you don't think they would like engage in warfare?
100%. I just don't think that they would have the current draft.
I would say that if the majority of men are in positions of power, more of them are prime ministers, more of them are presidents, more of them are kings, more of them are military leaders, more of them are politicians, and more of them are the ones that go to war, it would make sense that if we do go to war, there's a majority male decision. Doesn't mean women weren't involved, but it seems like there are probably more men accepting of the existence of war in the world than there are women. Based on just like biological, like, because men are like the fighters of the human race, technically. It's kind of like, yeah, of course they would be more okay with war. It doesn't even seem like that would be a stretch.
That we have. I don't think
that would be
the things.
Very hypothetical scenario.
Yeah, it very much is. But I don't think we have the current draft scenario that we have if women were the ones out at the front lines. There's no men ever. No women wouldn't be choosing. Let's just send everyone to war.
Wait, so what's the argument?
What's the argument? Are you saying women want peace more? No, he just asked me who started war, and I said men. Oh, and
I didn't ask you that question. That manifested out the ether.
Okay. Anyways, I had that point. I said men started war, and you were arguing against that. That was that. So you're saying that if men didn't start war, then who did?
It's not clear to me if it's because of gender that wars occur. There's various geopolitical conflicts. This is my land. No, it's not my land. It's not clear. I'm a man. I have a PP. Because of this, I'm going to go to war with other men because they're men. Like, that's not the justification or pretext for war.
I think that the current way that we handle war and that war is because of men.
How's that?
That's just my opinion.
How's the way we handle war?
Like the current political state, like the way war is, I just feel like that's because of men. If you disagree and you say it's because of women, that's...
No, I'm not saying it's because of women. It's not clear to me if it's because of gender or because of sex.
Oh, I believe so. I believe so.
So you think, men engage in warfare because men?
Yeah.
Because of our male nature?
Yeah.
It couldn't be due to geopolitical conflicts. This is my land. No, that's my land.
I feel like it could be handled very much other ways than war. But because of the way that the world already is, like, we're at a point where the only option is war. You can't give humans war and atomic bombs and all these things and then expect them to be like, actually, let's just have peace forever and ever. Like, because you guys already introduced war and all these things and the current political state, we're always going to have war with the way we run things right now, yeah.
Okay. I'm not really hearing an argument, though.
There was an argument. I just said that this was because of men. You want to argue against that, so it's kind of prolonged.
Because of men or because of human beings?
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm getting at.
Well, I think it's because of men.
So if women ran the world, what would that look like?
I honestly don't know, but a lot more peaceful than it is right now.
Free tampons. So that's an interesting question. Do you fight more amongst other women, or do you see men fight amongst other male friends?
Honestly, the way things are handled, I see men have a lot more conflict.
Depends on what you're talking about. Women will be more catty, but men will actually kill each other. So, yes, if men are the ones doing violent crimes, or if men are the majority of people committing homicide, if men are the majority of people in jail, it would stand to reason that war more easily connects to men and stems from men. Is that why don't somebody just say that? Just say that argument.
Like said women. Men are more physical, but not to say women.
Do women hold grudges more? Do men hold grudges more?
Honestly, the way I see it in the world,
you know the answer. I can see it on your face.
Men duke it out faster.
Do men forgive quicker?
I don't know about that. I think it depends on the man. But
do you hold grudges against other women?
I don't.
Wait,
know.
you were going to say actually when it came to the grudges question. What was going to be your statement?
Oh, I don't feel like.
He was asking who holds grudges more.
I don't know. I don't think women have.
Go around the table. Go ahead.
Who holds grudges?
Huh?
What was the question?
You didn't hear what he literally just said 10 seconds ago? Yeah. What do you think?
I wanted to say that there's lots of war in non-humans. Chimps and lots of animals do war. And a lot of females, we talked about mama bears. There's very few things more violent than a mama if you come after her baby. So I don't think violence is the exclusive passion of men. I just think because in sexually dimorphic species, ones where the male is bigger than the female, men are stronger and can do more damage. They're just bigger. But that's not all animals.
Is conflict inherently masculine?
It's inherently human.
I agree.
Yeah, human.
Would the world be better run with more of a feminine approach or masculine approach?
I feel like it needs to be more balanced. Because what I mean by that is men aren't just masculine forces, whereas women aren't just feminine forces.
They're blend.
Exactly.
So currently in America, is America run in a more feminine way or more masculine way right now?
It's kind of hard because even I feel like if you look at most men in America right now, they have a lot more femininity than they should. Like, they're not masculine enough.
So
I don't know.
So let me ask it differently. Do you think in America feelings triumphs over reason, or does reason triumph over feelings?
That's you can use feelings and logic. Like, what is it? Pathos? Logos, ethos, and pathos? Like, pathos is emotional appeal. You saying, how could you kill a baby in the womb when it's still, like, a zygote and the cell splitting hasn't even started? You're calling that a baby. That is emotional appeal. That is exactly what that is.
Former and it's nonsense.
Feelings over reason.
Right.
Logically, okay, if it's a baby, I should be able to put a bottle in its mouth. I should be able to burp it. I should be able to dress it up in some clothes. I should be able to hold it in my arm. That's what I think about when I hear baby. Or it should be kicking in the womb, all that. There's so many more connotations. But
Right now, I think certainly on the internet and it's nonsense.
And that would be more feminine than it is masculine.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyone care to disagree?
Anyone else want to weigh in?
Bring back men. Even when most ardent feminist friends
Bring back men.
at certain times they want a man. That's in us. And maybe there's a time to be sort of a man and there's a time to be what's described as more feminine, right? When you listen to your wife kvetch about stuff.
Yes.
You're kind of
And
doing that.
so when society is more feminine, it is so in the traditional nuclear family, it is dad or the male's job to say no, to be the rule giver, to put in order and regimen. That's not to say that mom can't, but mom is supposed to be there to be the more empathetic, compassionate, and we see this time and time again, by the way, of boys that are raised by just moms, very, very violent in their trajectory, right? Especially if they don't have men around. It's just the way it is, because they've never had a male figure to tell them no. Do you guys think in America right now we have a self-control problem?
100,000%, yeah.
Do you think that might be because we have more homes without fathers than homes with fathers?
It might even be a product of capitalism. I'm going to bring that back.
You might be.
Because if I can buy it, I'm going to buy everything. I want to buy 6 of these types of sweatshirts rather than just one. And that comes back to self-control.
Yeah, we definitely do not have willpower or self-control. It's actually the two greatest predictors of human success is intelligence and self-control. One of those you can control, one of those you can't.
Did anybody else want to answer?
I know,
this
this is
question?
lively chatter here.
He was asking a question. Okay, here, I'll help prompt things along then.
Do you want something like abortion, trans, or something I can get like people talking?
I got some. Okay, I got some.
All right, come on. I got
Do you-
about 3 minutes. Okay.
Okay, hard out at like 8 p.m.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, okay.
So, okay,
Gotta get
I'm
home by
going to make it dating related, but related here.
Make it spicy. Let's
I'll give you spicy.
Let's
I
get
got
the habanero,
spicy.
all right? Let's
I
get
got
it out
spicy.
there, all right?
Okay.
Okay, you got
Would object to a
spicy?
man not wanting to date a trans woman?
Would I object to a man not wanting to date a trans woman?
So a biological man thinks he's a woman.
No, that's his choice. He doesn't want to date a trans woman. No.
No, same way I wouldn't object to a woman not wanting to date a trans man.
Yeah, I agree with that.
No.
No. No.
No.
No.
That's his choice if he wants to date a trans man.
All right, so let me try to spice it up here. What is a woman?
That's a good question.
Biologically?
No,
Tell
start
me.
with you guys.
Uterus.
Uterus. Cool.
Uterus, hormones.
Are there other definitions of women that we should accept?
This is important.
This is actually not a silly question. This is
dating related.
related.
It ties with feminism too.
Yeah.
Sure. That's the ground. That's the fundamental
Question.
importance.
Fundamental.
Yeah.
Important.
How about this way? Anybody can chime in. Can someone that doesn't have a uterus that has
Should we just go around and
Yeah, sure.
what is a woman?
A woman is someone with a uterus. However, a uterus doesn't always define a woman because, for example, you can have your uterus surgically removed. You're not any less of a woman because of that.
Should we have them all answer?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
And then if you want to respond, go ahead.
Yeah, I believe that a woman has a uterus, so.
So that would make me not a woman, in essence.
Here, let's let the girls answer. Go ahead.
You're asking if gender and sex are synonyms, and that's the big debate. If you think the word woman is a synonym for the word female, then you would say a woman has primary and secondary sexual characteristics. If you're saying the words woman and female are not synonyms, then you can include like trans people who call themselves women but don't have the first or primary or secondary characteristics. That's the debate, right?
Anyone with a uterus.
I mean, biologically, it's someone that has XX chromosomes.
Yeah, someone with a uterus.
XX chromosomes.
Like, I think there's men and women. There's not really anything in between. I think you need to be born with uterus, vagina, boobs,
Yes.
everything. Well, intersex is more common than red hair or green eyes.
It's not true, but that's okay. It's a good
It's
talking
not 1%, right?
point.
It's
No,
not-
not close, but it's a good talking point.
What is it then? Because
It's
it's not
like
zero.
it's like 0.001%, but
They
it
exist.
totally exists. Yes. No, I only pick on you.
No, if I'm wrong, but they do exist. So we do have people that are
100%, yes.
not male, sort of, not female, sort of.
But it's a deformity, right?
Right, but they're not choosing to be trans. Of course, no, I'm not talking about.
So for example, if I was born without a leg, that's absent of being two-legged. It doesn't create a new category of something, right? So and it only intersex is XXY, so they're either more female or more male. They're usually more female, but sometimes they cannot have both sex organs, aka they cannot impregnate themselves. So it's
Hermaphrodite,
yeah, exactly.
right.
Let me ask it this way: does anyone believe that biological men can become a woman?
If your answer is, technically speaking, if your answer is hormones, or we found a way to change hormones, yes. Technically speaking, if your answer is has a uterus, if you find a way to get a uterus and it's a working one, hopefully, then the answer would be yes. But I feel like most people would still say no. So depending on what we're talking, I guess naturally occurring would be the case. Naturally occurring without medical intervention of any kind.
I think people can call themselves unicorns at this point in time if they want to. So if that's what they choose to say, that's what it is. But becoming a woman is a very, in short, no.
I'm not going to deny trans people as women.
Okay, so can I pause there? So if as a woman, can womanhood then just be appropriated? Someone can then say, "I am what you are."
No.
You said you're not going to deny trans women.
Yeah.
So Dylan Mulvaney, who's a biological man who thinks he's a preteen woman, is he a woman?
I feel like I'm just not in a position to tell him he's not a woman. If he says, if they say that they are a woman, I have no, you know what I mean? I'm not going to be like, are you a woman? Are you a man? That's nothing to do with me, honestly.
Got it. So if I'm 30, if I said I was 12, would you acknowledge that?
Yes, I would.
You would? Okay.
I would acknowledge it as dumb.
It's dumb. So why is it dumb for age? I guess your answer previously.
Yeah.
But why is it with sex or gender, we kind of get really cautious and saying, well, I'm not going to deny it. But if I said I was a wolf, you would laugh at me. If I said I was a giraffe, you'd laugh at me. But with sex and gender, we're like, oh, you can do whatever you want.
Because it's, I don't
Because there's a lot of... It's kind of like when I say car, I say the word car, you think of wheels, seatbelt, speed, sometimes maybe crashes. What type of, you might think of a truck, a SUV. You have all these other connecting things when I say the word car. So, and that's for every word. Like, just if we just zoom the conversation out, and it's not about sex or gender, we do that with everything. So when we say woman, there are certain things like, I don't know, like smells, has a beautiful smell. Maybe, like, even if it's long hair or short hair, certain hairstyles, certain clothing, certain body shape, certain voice patterns, certain facial structure, certain bone structure. Not necessarily height, but women tend to be shorter than men. Like, there's all these things that we roll into it. Gentleness or temperament. All of these things are rolled into it. So, technically speaking, depending on what you're saying, you could have a butch, dyke, short hair, wears nothing but jeans, takes hormones to have like a more male presenting body, has a deeper voice, likes sports, like, I don't know, like works on cars, lumberjack, like anything that you can associate that's typically with men, sports, being that they want to be the head of the family and all that. If you took all of that and just smacked a vagina on it, you would never say that person is like less of a woman than someone who's like really like dainty, wears skirts, has makeup on, does her nails, and I don't know, is a passenger princess, all of that. Yeah. So, depending on what are you trying to capture the essence of what feminine energy is? It depends on what the conversation's
I don't know,
about.
honestly, I've been looking at it from different perspectives ever since that issue kind of came up. Because I'm also, like I said, religious and also believe in the Bible. So it's like really conflicting, you know? But I feel like I heard this one thing on it where it was saying that it's almost like, again, I'm not saying this is my concrete belief, but I just heard this, which kind of made me think a little bit more about it. And they're saying how it's kind of like a mental illness. Like, you know how someone could be 30 and they could truly believe they're 12. Like, those people really exist. It's a mental illness.
Yes.
Those people exist. You don't deny them that they exist. You don't tell them, yeah, you're 30. Like, what are you doing with your life? Like, you acknowledge that it's a mental illness and you treat the person as such.
Great point. So if somebody, you're in healthcare, came to you and they said, I'm anorexic, so I think I'm fat, and they said, I want liposuction, which means the forcible removal of fat, should you give them that surgery?
Of course not, because that would be compromising their actual health.
Hold on. But you just said that we have to affirm somebody's mental illness. They want liposuction. Why should they get it?
No, I didn't mean affirm their mental illness as in accept, oh, you are 12. I'm saying we shouldn't treat them as in, you shouldn't go up to them to the 12, the 30.
The 30-year-old who thinks he's 12, which is a thing.
And you shouldn't, because like that's how people talk to trans people, right? They'll go up to them, like, haha, you think you're a woman. Treat them with that disrespect and all that disdain. Whereas if you see the 30-year-old who's a 12-year-old, you don't go up to them telling them that they're 30. You accept that they have a mental illness.
Of course.
And you
So let's apply it to the trans thing, the 30-year-old, 12-year-old, and the liposuction thing. Wouldn't it make more sense to treat the person and say, you're not what you think you are, rather than affirming the lie that they think there's something else?
I see.
Because in the liposuction example, anorexia, you're like, no way would we give you forcible removal of fat if you're anorexic.
But they'll just go to the next doctor who will.
Will they? A doctor will not, under current medical procedure, give liposuction to anorexic patient. Correct. But in trans care, a 14-year-old can get their breast removed if they think they're another sex. If they think it.
See, and that's where like it's really complicated because it's like if it is a mental illness and if that, I'm not saying I 100% concretely believe this, but if that's the case, then there should be a line of marker because it's like you shouldn't let someone who wants to mutilate their genitalia before their brains even develop.
I totally agree.
Do that if it is a mental illness and it is something that's heavily messing up their brains.
You're onto something. So the question is, when it comes to trans people, why don't we treat their brain instead of their body?
See, I feel like that's like a really good point. That's a really good point. I can't really argue against it. I also, even though I accept trans people and I do believe that trans women exist, I'm not going to deny them.
I don't know. You're closer. You're just saying that. I think you're saying that as a topic.
But listen, but if my daughter, who is 10 years old, tells me, Mom, like I want. Actually, let's make this easier. If it's my son that tells me, because that way he has a genitalia that could be cut off, right? If he tells me, Mom, I'm not a boy, I'm actually a woman, mutilate my genitalia, I wouldn't do that.
Okay. But you just said.
But if they turned 18 and they asked me, Mom, will you consent to me doing this? Like, will you disown me as a child, or are you going to accept me as your child who's a woman? I would accept them as a
No, you're being consistent, and at least you acknowledge the adult-child distinction, which is super important. Which right now, just so we're clear, in California, as a 14-year-old, you can get your breast chopped off, hysterectomies, like insane irreversible damage.
I don't believe that should be the case.
Straight, and I think that's a bipartisan agreement. However, it gets back to the question of, and I don't know if you believe what you're saying, that you say trans people exist. Okay, they exist as human beings. The question is, are they objectively the thing they say they are?
I'm not going to answer that.
Fair enough. Does anybody have a comment on that?
We used to call it gender dysphoria, right?
That's what it was in the DSM-3, DSM-4, and then the DSM-5, which is the Diagnostic Statistical Manual for Psychiatric Care in the United States. But no, you've been intellectually honest on that. And I think it's not a silly question because...
I wonder if it's possible, I don't know, I wonder if it's possible to have gender dysphoria, but like, I'm sure it should be possible to have gender dysphoria and not be a trans person. Is that possible? Let's say you're a dude that's like 5'10", that has like dysphoria, thinking that you should like, has a belief that I envision myself and genuinely see myself as like a tall, strong man that's actually like 6'5". That would be a guy having gender dysphoria about being a guy but isn't necessarily trans, or does that not count? I don't know. Does gender dysphoria necessarily imply transness? I don't know the answer to that.
I'm here with a panel of women. What it means to be a woman is a very serious thing, and it's a beautiful thing, but it shouldn't be trivialized for somebody that can just appropriate it, wear a dress and some makeup, and all of a sudden they enter the club of womanhood.
Sometimes frustrating what the most ardent ones think is womanhood, that it's just wearing pink and prancing around women. Or
but isn't that an insult to women?
It sometimes feels that way to me. It's like, that's what you think a woman is? Like, we fly planes, we do other stuff too.
Yes.
And
You're
of course,
complex beings made in the image of God.
Yeah, it's
not,
like some weird
not just a costume. It's not like dressing for Cinco de Mayo or something, right?
It's like they're wrapping themselves up and cosplaying womanhood in a sometimes weird way.
You brought up Dylan Mulvaney, and in his first video, it was like the day one of womanhood. It was like, look, I cried 4 times and like went into credit card debt. And it's like, is that what you think this is?
Yes, but they do, because they think that again, I don't sorry for interrupting, Brian, but I don't trivialize that some people that are trans are suffering. So the question is, how do you treat suffering people with the truth? So in a medical situation, if somebody comes in and you take their diagnosis, what they want, and you know that there's something better for them, then you should lose your license as a doctor. It doesn't matter what the patient wants. The doctor should be treating them towards, but the issue is that the new standard of care is no longer to try to bring somebody back into biological alignment of their birth. It's now to try to let them on whatever journey they might think they're on. And especially with youth, that's a dangerous trajectory.
I'm going to switch things up a little bit here. We're going to do something I don't think we've really done before.
Yeah, I'm gonna cut it here. How far did we get into this? Only got 2, and I'm streaming for like over 2 hours. I guess I must have been pausing and talking a lot because the amount of streaming time, and this is times 2. Yeah. Okay, we're done with this. I think I've seen enough of this to where I've triggered myself thoroughly. So yeah, we're gonna cut it here. Thank you all for watching. Y'all have a great night. Peace out.